7-5 the game.
Gets in the victory formation. Rattler steps back, takes a knee. Josh Vann starts to kiss the crowd.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
And here comes the students on the field. The goalposts go down.
107.5.
And South Carolina has done it. They have upset the number 5 Tennessee Volunteers 63-38.
The game. The early game with Bill Gunter.
We're making sure you've got your Halloween candy ready. All those little trick-or-treaters will be coming to your front door, knocking on your door with their adorable little costumes, taking your free candy. Hopefully Kit Kats and Three Musketeer bars and Snicker bars, and you're not giving out like Rolos or I don't know. What's the awful Christmas, or it's Christmas, the awful Halloween candy there, Jen?
And Jen Jensen.
I'm trying to think of I'm thinking of those, more of the things that are wrapped in like orange or black.
Those are awful. Yeah,
like
they're also made in the 40s.
Taffy thing.
Yeah.
They're like, Halloween fruitcakes.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
This Halloween, exciting young children will come to your door with bags open. Now, you have a choice. You can give them something good to eat, or you can give them Smarties. Seriously, the perfect combination of aspirin and Tums.
The early game. 107.5. The game.
Rattler takes a knee.
That is it, folks.
He throws the football up in the air, and the streak is over. Carolina has defeated number 7 Clemson 31-30. They go back-to-back in top 10 wins. First, number 5 Tennessee, and now number 7 Clemson. And for the first time since 2013, they finished the season with back-to-back wins over top 10 opponents.
I don't know. You explain it. We got all morning to do it. 803-404-6100. What a wild change from 2 weeks ago. I mean, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. South Carolina had lost to Florida 38-6. Didn't score a freaking offensive touchdown. And I came in here and said, man, say what?
Shane Beamer better make some moves. You're on the verge of losing your fan base.
All that goodwill that you built up through 2 years, you're on the verge of losing it. Oh, man.
What are you going to do? You got to make some changes. You probably got to go ahead and let Marcus Satterfield go. Oh, program's in trouble. Fast forward to today, and the streak is over. It's back-to-back victories over top 10 teams. South Carolina football is in a place it hasn't been in 10 years, 12 years. I don't know. Something long time, long time. And the absolute 180 from where I sat here and probably from your anger 2 weeks ago is absolutely incredible. And it's a testament to a head football coach not listening to a fan base and clearly stupid sports talk show hosts who are like, oh, you got to fire the offensive coordinator. You got to fire him. You got to get rid of him. What are you going to do? They stuck with the plan. And somewhere, somehow, it clicked. And Spencer Rattler goes from being kind of the joke of the country a little bit. Kind of the guy that, man, went to South Carolina and it didn't work out, to holy cow, that dude is for real. 360 yards. Yeah, there was a dumb mistake or two. 25 of 39, 360 yards. And Shane Beamer said it best in his halftime interview. We're going to win because of Spencer Rattler. And they made some other plays. And obviously Clemson made a few serious mistakes there that opened the door for South Carolina. But South Carolina went out and took that football game. MVP probably, by the way, Kai Kroger, though. Rattler was incredible. But Kai Kroger, oh, good grief. Throw that boy a parade this week. Go down. Kai Kroger should never have to buy a drink in this town again. Don't forget about the play of that guy. There's so many, really, honestly, that you could say that about, from Saturday afternoon at Memorial Stadium. Did anybody else change where they were sitting, change your shirt, your pants, your underwear, anything when South Carolina was down 14-0, by the way? Was that the only one that changed shirts? Like, just like this isn't working. No, it's not working. All right, let's go up to the clothes hamper and find out what I was wearing against Tennessee. Yep, all right, throw that sweater on. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. There's so much to get into this morning. I know you probably want to be a part of the program. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. So many of y'all doing it. Waddy weighing in says, I told my friends that we have a cold quit on our hands. DC saying, yeah, moved upstairs, got out of the way. Raphael weighing in. Nate Atkins is that dude. Yeah, what a game from Nate Atkins. Oh, man. That was absolutely incredible across the board. And to do it, I felt South Carolina had kind of a chance to win. I kind of didn't want to believe it because I was trying to explain to my kids at about 3:45 on Saturday afternoon. I was like, hey, Austin, you were 2. You were 2 years old the last time that this happened. Ansley, you were 5. I have no clue what it's like to see a grown man cry. All right, I cry a good bit. They've seen it actually a good bit, and might have happened again on Saturday. But I was like, you guys have never seen something like this. The party that broke open a great bottle of Crown. Incredible bottle of Crown on Saturday afternoon. But to do it when it looked like South Carolina was about to follow a script that we've seen, unfortunately, a little bit too often in the Shane Beamer era, where they fall behind. They look ill-prepared. The offense is in a complete funk. The defense can't stop the Tigers. Just you throw a pick six. Oh, you're down 14-0. It looks like South Carolina is on their way to a humiliating defeat that Clemson's going to stamp their name possibly on the college ball playoff and another victory. And then lo and behold, all that culture, all those things that Shane Beamer have preached now for basically 24 months, all of a sudden sunk in. And Spencer Rattler became that dude. Spencer Rattler became that guy. The guy that when he committed to South Carolina, Gamecock fans had these incredible visions dancing in their head last Christmas season. And Rattler turned in a performance. And Antoine Wells became the absolute best player on the field again. 9 catches, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Really, honestly, that's a stupid line for me. The best player on the field. You could say that about 4 or 5 Gamecocks on Saturday. And again, Kai Kroger should be one of them. Spencer Rattler could have been one of them. South Carolina, I mean, think about this just for a second. It's 31-30 is the final. South Carolina throws a pick 6 and gives up a safety. It's almost one of those things where, yeah, it's a 1-point game, but South Carolina was kind of in more control than you realize because, yes, I know Clemson had a fumble, obviously, on the punt from Antonio Williams. Obviously, Phil Maffa had the punt on the kickoff, which, by the way, you want to talk about a wild change of momentum there because at that point, if South Carolina doesn't get that safety, I don't know if they get it out of Clemson territory and they punt. And as good as Kroger was punting, obviously it's very likely that maybe Clemson gets the ball at midfield or better and has a chance to go down and score and go up 21-7 and really change the dynamics of the game as opposed to, say, 16-7. So there's so much to get into, so much to unpack and talk about this morning. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward with Marcus Satterfield or the coaching staff. Who cares? Marcus Satterfield shouldn't have to buy a drink in this town for the month of December because whatever happened, it worked. And Spencer Rattler was incredible. Whatever happened, Jaheim Bell got touches and made plays. Whatever happened, Antoine Wells became that dude. And they all deserve a ton of credit. And again, it's all led by Shane Beamer, who, again, 2 weeks ago could have panicked, could have hit the eject button and really thrown the program into a bit of, I guess, disarray. You go without your offensive coordinator. Yeah, it probably wasn't working out. All right, I'm gonna sell out on him, as I said. Stupid radio host here. That's why you don't do a radio show at 6:12 in the morning. You say stupid things. And instead, Shane Beamer stayed the course. Program stayed the course. And South Carolina today is Brian just said on our live stream, is possibly the hottest team in the country when you look at what they're doing right now. 63-38 over then number 5 Tennessee, 31-30 over then number 8 Clemson. Going to go to a great bowl. We'll find out what. A lot of rumors yesterday. LSU losing over the weekend. Talk about a shocker. LSU losing over the weekend doesn't really help South Carolina's bowl prospects in terms of maybe going to the Citrus. I don't even know if a lot of you want to go to the Citrus. Maybe more of you want to go to Jacksonville. If you follow the bowl projections yesterday, the Gator Bowl has an incredible projection. South Carolina versus Notre Dame on December 30th at 3:30. 5-hour trip. Orlando's neat. Orlando's cool. I don't, by the way, just talking with people yesterday, I don't foresee South Carolina going to Tampa. I think it's either going to be the Citrus or the Gator. We'll see if that kind of comes to fruition. But right now, at least in talking with people, I'm leaning personally toward the Gator. I think that's possibly what it's going to be. Notre Dame right now is the opponent that they would like to pair South Carolina against. But what a day. What an absolute, number one, gorgeous day. Very pretty day outside on Saturday. And then what an absolute incredible football game. Really just a fun football game to watch if you were just a fan of college football and you didn't have a dog in the interest. If you're from somewhere like out of state and you're just like, oh, I like football, I'll watch South Carolina and Clemson. It should be a good game, I guess. You got actually an incredible game. 803-404-6100. I'll just try to repeat the phone number to you throughout the morning. A lot of y'all already weighing in, and we will definitely get out to the phone lines. Our buddy Jim in Carolina Beach, one of the first people to text in this morning, bright and early. He's made sure to let South Carolina fans know all the time about Clemson, and he sent us a text message at 4:34. Got to like getting up that early. He said, congrats to the Gamecocks on a 31-30 win over Clemson. They did just enough to win where Clemson did just enough to not win. I've got enough crows saved up over the past 8 years to share if anyone wants some. He then goes on to say, go Tigers. Roch weighs in this morning, says, told the wife I'd put up all the Christmas crap if Carolina won. Thought I was safe. Thanks, Shane. Kidding. Best Christmas crap I ever put up. Gene weighs in this morning. Satterfield for president. Great win. Gamecock Larry, give the Clemson folks the business. Teddy weighing in this morning. And he just, very simple. It just says, I have joy. I'm pretty sure we all do this morning. 803-404-6100. We'll get out to those Love Chevy phone lines. We'll get to more of your text messages. A lot of people celebrating and partying on our live stream. The party will go on for a large part of December into the bowl game. If you want to go and join us on the live stream, go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click join, subscribe, be a part of the program there. Weigh in. Should be a really fun morning. Get to a lot of your phone calls. Jamie Bradford will join us. We will kind of let you celebrate a little bit. We'll celebrate a little bit. It was an absolute phenomenal day to be a South Carolina Gamecock. You rally, you win, you break the 7-game losing streak. Hadn't done it in 8 years. Remember, that was 1 year off. Absolutely incredible on Saturday. And Shane Beamer, in 2 years, has really turned this program around. And who knows what the limit is going now into 2023. 803-404-6100. She's Jen Jensen. She's partying like a rock star. I'm coming off of partying like a rock star. We're going to let you party all morning as well. It's the early game on 1075 The Game.
Our 15th anniversary celebration on 1075 The Game
is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, getting you better sooner.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 1075 The Game, and the new 1075 The Game app. 1075 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Things definitely looking good out on the highways this morning. We will take that. Just one accident to let you know about. I-26 westbound at I-20. Your forecast for today, going to be sunny, 67 for the high. A few clouds rolling in for tomorrow, 68 for the high. Maybe a couple showers on Wednesday and a high of 70, but kind of mild right now. No need to have the heat on. It's 54 at 1075 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Tampa Bay was among the biggest Sunday losers. They let Jacoby Brissett throw a late.
All right. Well, yep. Good morning to everybody. What a What an absolute incredible Thanksgiving weekend. Absolutely incredible, yep. Let's go back. Y'all have been yeah, yep. Jim's out there somewhere. He was awake. He sending that text message 4:30 this morning. $4:30, bright and early. Whew. We may actually break some numbers on the live stream today. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Speechless. But unfortunately, speechless doing a sports talk radio program does not work. Can't really be speechless. Let's see here. Let's figure out.
Oh, we broke it. We broke it on the.
I do hear it in here, though. I do hear it in here. Hey, I need a favor from one of you live streamers or multiple of y'all. Can someone turn on your radio and see if we are on air?
Yeah, the actual radio, not
Amazing. I
the
love
stream.
my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
If your pubic region was quote unquote junk, you
I mean, I'm not getting anything that's telling me that we're off, like, but no, don't feel that either. So I'm trying to figure out why that.
Have a passion for serving children and families?
Okay.
Apply to become a child welfare case manager at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services. You're invited to the grand opening of Palmetto Cards and Collectibles, South Carolina's largest hobby shop.
Nobody is texting in. Michael says, yeah, it's working. All right, let's do some more radio.
6:22 on a Monday morning. What is turning into quite a happy and bright Monday morning. November the 28th is how you can. November 28th is the day. November 26th is the day that will now go down pretty famous in South Carolina football history as South Carolina 31, Clemson 30. They end the 7-game losing streak, and it was quite the morning on Saturday, kind of just getting ready for the game. There was a sense of anticipation. I really didn't want to kind of get my hopes up too much. Didn't know how South Carolina was going to perform. Wasn't sure, was that Tennessee game kind of the fluke or how was it working? But the bottom line is it turned into an absolutely gorgeous day, and it turned into a fantastic victory, not just for this team, but the program as a whole. 803-404-6100. There were unconfirmed reports around 3:45 on Saturday afternoon of a shirtless 87-year-old man, maybe 87-year-old man running the streets in Swansea or Gaston, just celebrating, slapping Clemson fans on the back of the head with their cane. Gamecock Larry, maybe the happiest of all Gamecock fans this morning up first. Gamecock Larry, were you indeed running the streets? Did you hop out of the scooter and just start running the streets on Saturday afternoon?
That was an 88-year-old man, but Bill Gamecock Nation. My daughter put me in my electric recliner, whatever you want to call them things, put me back as far as I can go and unplugged it. And so I couldn't jump up. I just had to lay in that recliner and listen and holler. But I'm going to tell you something. Gamecock Nation, I feel good like an old Gamecock should. We beat them Tigers in just about everything this year. And Carolina, Jim from Carolina Beach, or whatever you said, Clemson done just enough to lose the game. Clemson should have lost that game. We should have beat you by at least 16 points. And I can call them out, but I'll just wait because I'll let some other people talk, and I'll call it in tomorrow, the next day, and I can tell you how we should have won that game by at least, I think, maybe 21 or 24 points. And I got them written down. We should have took you to the woodshed, and we did in the second half. Give you 7 points and 86 yards of offense, 7 points and 86 yards of offense in the second half. That sounds like a whooping to me. And all you Clemson fans, you made fun of old Gamecock all last week. But guess what? We are the talk of the nation today. Gamecocks. That's about all I got to say. I'll hang up and let somebody else talk. But I'm going to tell you something. We have started us a streak. And I don't know how long it's going to go, but I just wish I'm always around for that. I'll say at least 10 streaks. We're going to win 10 in a row. Old Diebold look mighty weak. Saturday afternoon. Oh, yeah. You got a quarterback dilemma. We got a quarterback like a gunslinger. A gunslinger will lose a few, but he'll always come through. Go Gamecocks. Talk to you later. Bill, Jim, Patrick, Gamecock Nation. Love all y'all. Oh, yeah, old Root Hog even said we're going to get Notre Dame or Florida State in one of the bowls. I don't care who we get. We're going to take it to the woodshed like we've done for the last 2 weeks. Go Gamecocks. Talk to you later. Love all y'all. Go.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was going to be and another thing. That could have just been 3 hours of Gamecock Larry thinking he was done, only to realize, that's right, I've got somebody else that needs to be called out. Who else has said something? Yeah, it's a lot excitement there from him this morning, and rightfully so. A lot of excitement across Gamecock Nation. What a finish, 8-4. And, again, you go back, and I said it when you beat Kentucky. I said it when you beat Texas A&M. All right, yeah, those teams were maybe down, but you took advantage of them. You took advantage of teams being down, and you got to 6 wins. And, yeah, there was the ugly loss to Missouri and the ugly loss to Florida, but you took advantage of some games, and South Carolina was kind of rolling along. And somewhere after Florida, whether the team listened to this radio station from 6 to 6, maybe that's what Shane Beamer just had to just put them in the little conference room and made them listen to angry Gamecock fans. Maybe it was a pride thing. Maybe there were indeed changes made. Who cares? It's been a 2-week run that will go down in history as I don't know if we'd say the greatest 2-week run, because there was some really special times under Steve Spurrier when South Carolina had a great football team, but certainly in terms of back-to-back wins and back-to-back top 10 wins, I mean, it's the greatest 2-week run in South Carolina football history if you look at it from the perspective of what this team is, what they were, the teams they just beat. And kudos, all the credit in the world to Shane Beamer. Credit to Marcus Satterfield for either adjusting or taking advice or figuring it out or whatever happened. And who cares what happened? It happened, and South Carolina fans are sitting here at 8-4. And this is an absolute a couple people I ran into on Saturday afternoon, like, well, hey, Will Muschamp went in the second year, won 8 games, and didn't work. No, this is entirely different. These two wins over Tennessee and over Clemson, they're legitimate wins, man. Legitimate wins over teams that were fighting for a college football playoff spot. Obviously, Hendon Hooker got injured late in that game, but teams that were healthy, you go on the road to your rival. These were legitimate victories, and South Carolina showed resiliency in both of them. Tennessee roars back. It's 35-31. It looks like the game could go the opposite way. Instead, South Carolina scores 28 points and wins that thing 63-38. Against Clemson, you're down 14-0. It looks like it could get ugly. It could get out of hand. Clemson could go on to a big victory, and instead you show resiliency and you battle back.
Because that's not been the typical Gamecocks. Like, once they're down 14-0, it's like, oh, all right, well, let's sit back and watch how bad this is going to be, because they're not going to bounce back. In the past, they wouldn't have, not nearly as well.
Yeah,
so.
That's a testament to culture and leadership in Shane Beamer himself. 803-404-6100. Let's get in to the Love Chevy phone lines. Auburn wants to weigh in this morning. Auburn, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning. How are y'all?
Good.
Go Gamecocks. I just wanted to point out, you said earlier, there was about 4 or 5, players on the team that could be a player of the game. I just wanted to point out some I saw. I was at the game Saturday. It was amazing. So Josh Mann catches that pass and goes down and out the game, I believe. And my buddy said he saw it and they wouldn't show the replay, but he possibly broke his leg on that play or got a serious injury, and he held onto the ball. That was huge for us. We needed that catch. Then that punt return by Brown, that changed the momentum of the game. Atkins, I mean, he made that marvelous one-handed catch, and then, knocked the ball out to secure the game. So, and like you said earlier, the punter was unreal. Guy, I'll buy him a drink.
I assume he's of age. I guess we haven't looked at that. Yeah.
I won't even ID him. I'm not even going to card him.
There you go. Yep.
All right. Hey, well, thank y'all so much. Spurs up.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the phone call this morning. I mean, I don't know if they'll get credit because the first half got off to a rough start and Clemson runs for 200 yards. Defensive line in the second half, I kept saying that they needed to play well. Zach Pickens was a monster in there. Jordan Birch had a great game. Brad Johnson made several plays on blitzes. Nick Eamon-Warry lays a shot to DJU that seemed to change him a little bit during the game. You saw him on the bike later in the game. Eamon-Warry being that guy, that safety coming downhill and just smashing DJU there on the side. Thought maybe Clemson would have gone to Cade Klubnik at that point, but instead they held firm. And obviously, it's a performance that Clemson fans have every right to be upset with their coaching staff for not seeing what else was available in Klubnik there late in the ball game, not giving Will Shipley the ball. But South Carolina's defense did rise to the occasion. Give all the, again, this is the kind of victory you love to have, because give all the credit in the world. Marcellus Dial stepping up big and making plays there as they tried to attack him. Unbelievable job by the secondary as a whole. We'll continue talking about it. If you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100 is how you can be a part of the program. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
The OGs of 107.5 The Game.
Jay Phillips, Heath Klein, and Tommy Moody.
Sharing their memories of 107.5 The Game and celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Just download the 107.5 The Game app or go to 107.5thegame.com to check out the podcast.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app.
Thanksgiving is over. So if you've had people at your house the last few days for the ball game, for the big meal, maybe putting up the Christmas tree and doing a little family event there yesterday, then you've probably got a bit of a dirty house. And now with Christmas just around the corner, it's time to get that house looking clean for your next big Christmas party. And Zero Res is ready to help you. You can take advantage right now of the fall sale going on. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Again, schedule your cleaning online at zerorescolumbia.com or give them a phone call, 803. All right, I completely forgot the phone number because it's not in the script. And I do this every morning, so we'll get that phone number. Zero. You can visit them and schedule online. zerorescolumbia.com is how you can do that. Just mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game to do that. Again, zerorescolumbia.com is where you go. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. You'll get a hallway cleaned for free as well. So don't hesitate. Schedule with ease online. ZeroResColumbia.com is how you do that. Zero spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. ShepherdsGlass.com.
And taking a look at the traffic conditions out there this morning, we do have just one accident to report, and that is I-26 westbound, I believe. Yes, I-26 westbound there at I-20. We do have a report of a tie-up there. So again, if you are out and about early this morning, just one accident to let you know about, and that's I-26 westbound at I-20. Forecast for today. 67 will be our high, 68 tomorrow. Some rain may be coming in on Wednesday and a high of 70. It's 54 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules. All great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot.
Yeah, I completely blanked. I said it's 262-40-20, and I just completely I knew the last 4. I just all of a sudden in my mind, I had just said our phone number, and it just all of a sudden the 262 part went completely out of my head. Like just completely. I say it every morning. I recite it half of the time, but just completely blanked on those first 3 digits. And it's not in my little script anywhere in there. They don't have the phone number. So let's just say if I blank, normally you'd read the script and you're like, oh, it's right there. There it is. Nope, just says easily schedule your cleaning online. I always wonder if they're pushing people to go online. Because I've got 4 scripts and not a single one has the phone number. Probably should have read the air duct script too. So, all right, we're good. Yeah, 31-30. Wow. Turn that back on. Oh, yeah. Let me finish my tweet. I will admit, Saturday, I finally couldn't help myself. My I don't know what you want to call it, got the best of me. Finally got the best of me, and I couldn't help it. I had to take a shot at another sports talk show host on Twitter in the upstate who's said a bunch of stuff in the past. I couldn't help I finally just couldn't help myself. The celebration got to me a little bit too much. It's on my Twitter if you want to go look at it, but I couldn't help myself. And I felt like I did a good job too. I didn't get out of line.
$6:39 on a Monday morning, 803-404-6100. Robin on our live stream says the whole family decked out garnet and black today. Brian on there asking on our live stream asking what will the new contract be worth for 803-262-4020. By the way, I get way too excited this morning and blanked on their phone number, but asking what the new contract will be worth for Shane Beamer. And we'll talk about that. That's something I think we'll get into more as the week kind of carries on and what South Carolina does. Obviously, I think, you don't need to overspend right now, but at the same time, there's no doubt Shane Beamer has done enough now to be rewarded with an extension with at least $1 million raise, put him closer to $4 million. Torian Gray, I think, is in that same vein there, the defensive backs coach and what he's done with that. Obviously, a few guys got raises and last year and got extensions. But if you ask me of two, Pete Limbo, obviously also at the very top of that, Pete Limbo, Torian Gray, and Shane Beamer. If you were to ask me my top three on who should be getting a raise, Pete Limbo, when he was hired kind of as Shane Beamer's right-hand guy. That was obviously the special teams portion of it was extremely important, but Pete Limbo was also having head coach experience, kind of being that right-hand guy that Shane Beamer could kind of lean on. And there's no doubt that what Pete Limbo has brought to this program it's irreplaceable. I don't know who else you can go out. Yeah, you say, well, if we lost Clayton White, go find another defensive coordinator. If you lost Marcus Satterfield goes to Nebraska or something, you say, okay, go find that. I don't know who you could replace Pete Limbo with. He's the absolute best in the business, and I don't know if he'll be a candidate. I saw his name mentioned, for like the Charlotte job, and obviously they hired a Michigan assistant and moving on. Several of you are saying on the live stream, you got to pay these assistant coaches. In terms of assistant coaches, it starts with Limbo and making sure that he is very well compensated because obviously special teams is incredible. Mitch Jeter, 10 of 10 kicking field goals on the year. I read something from John Whittle last night as well that basically said, when he kicks field goals, they're down the middle too. It's not like, oh boy, that one snuck in the upright. It's right down the middle. And then special teams and what he's done is absolutely incredible. And Kai Kroger, the job he did on Saturday, man, that's every penny of that scholarship he's on is worth it. 803-404-6100. Let's try and hit the Love Chevy phone lines. Let's get out to David, who is up first this morning. David, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Doing great.
Hey, so I will be the first to tell you that I was very skeptical about the Clemson game just because being a Carolina fan for so long, you kind of, I don't want to say you're used to disappointment, but you kind of expect something to happen, especially after a big win like against Tennessee. I was kind of expecting Carolina to, I guess, kind of drop the ball, especially when they went down 14-0. But the fact that they were able to battle back, and I believe that's the first time that they've won a game or have won a game coming from behind all year, I thought was incredible. And also, shout out to Spencer Rattler, man. I won't lie, I've been one of his biggest critics. It's just some of the decision making just leaves me scratching my head. But he has really turned it on the last two games when he's needed to, and it's just been incredible. And my question is, do you think he's going to stay, or do you think he goes to the draft?
Appreciate the phone call, David. In terms of that, my gut is he goes to the draft. That was the plan all along from both sides for him to come here. He was a one-year guy. I don't think he necessarily achieved what he came here to do in terms of let me get back into the first round. But the last two games, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. What is that? I'd have to do quick math. I'd have to go back and look at the exact number of yards he threw for against Tennessee and add it up real quick. But you know, the truth is what he came here to do to propel South Carolina into a different kind of perception nationally. After the last two games, he did it. 798 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 798 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the final 2 games against top 10 teams. I don't necessarily think that means he has catapulted himself into the top 2 rounds, but I do think that what he did was kind of secure his legacy here. And again, from the get-go, it was kind of a one-year deal. You come in, we're going to let Luke Doty learn from you, rest. We're going to get these other guys behind him, opportunities to understand college football, Tanner Bailey, Braden Davis, even Colton Gauthier, let them develop for a year, and then let them battle it out in the spring as Spencer gets ready for the NFL. I think that's where we're going. I think that's where he is heading, but I don't know that for sure. Let's get one more in here on the Love Chevy phone lines. Ted is up next. Ted, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Oh, good morning, Bill. I'm just so excited. I don't know what to do. As many years as I struggled through these Gamecocks, as you well know, and we had the most fun ever at the cabin this weekend. It was unbelievable. But I wanted to comment a couple of guys that played their asses off, and I'm so proud of them. That Atkins kid, I'm going to tell you, he played one heck of a game. And, you know, I had been preaching for 2 years that we needed to have somebody in the backfield that could help block, give us some protection. As I stated years ago, that we had Prentice 2 years ago, the fullback that's in the pros, and I think that was one of the turning points of our season, was having him back there for those last 2 games. Now, he didn't play back there full time, but he did one heck of a job when he was back there. And that Marcus Dial, what a game he played. Oh, my God. And I said all year long, we have the best punter in the United States. I would not trade him for anybody. I've never seen a guy that can punt the ball to the 2-yard line and back it up every time. In fact, the one that went into the end zone where our guy was in the end zone, if he hadn't have touched that ball, it was backing up. If you'd have watched it on the screen closely, that ball was backing up. It would have still been another one inside the 3-yard line. It's unbelievable. And there's so many guys I wanted to congratulate. And Brooks is another guy that came back. Brooks came back at wide receiver after having a really pitiful year last year, dropping balls again. He came back with a different attitude, and it took him a while to get – well, he caught some early in the year, but he is a dangerous receiver, and I hope he makes it to the pros too. I think Beamer has changed that kid's life for the better. Beamer is such a good human being, and I love that guy, and I think he is going to build us a dynasty, and I cannot wait for the recruiting class to develop this year and we're going to get some out of the portal because we're going to lose a lot of players. But I think this recruiting class, including the portal, is going to be absolutely amazing this year. And thank you for letting me get all this off my chest. I know you guys think I talk too much, but I love you guys, and thank y'all so much. And Gamecocks are on the way. Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call, Ted. Yep, great morning for South Carolina. Great weekend for the Gamecocks. Men's basketball wins, football wins, women's basketball wins yesterday. We'll kind of keep an eye on that Aaliyah Boston injury and go from there. But certainly a great weekend for South Carolina across the board. And 31-30, the highlight of the weekend. We'll continue talking about it. You're listening to Bill Gunner. Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Halftime Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
Noon to 3.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game. 107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
We do have a report of an accident in Malfunction Junction right there, I-26 westbound at I-20. And traffic lights malfunctioning North Brickyard Road at Two Notch Road. 67 will be our high today, 68 tomorrow with some clouds rolling in, and then Wednesday, maybe some scattered showers and a high of 70. 54 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by NetSpend All Access Account. NetSpend All Access Account. Get the account designed for your everyday mobile banking needs. Banking services provided by an account established by Pathward NA. Member FDIC. Deposit account opening is subject to registration and ID verification. Terms and costs apply.
Welcome your guest into a clean, healthy home this Thanksgiving by calling the cleaning pros at Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, you'll get $30 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR30 when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost online.
Alrighty.
Gives guys a gentle and easy shave. And around there, and even under that, don't treat your bride like junk. Respect it. Gillette, the best man can get. Buy now at Walmart. Are you ready for a new car? State Credit Union now has excellent rates on new and used vehicles. And you enjoy having no car payments for up to 90 days. Not a member of State Credit Union yet? Joining is fast and easy. Visit their website for details. SCU.com. That's SCU.com. In the market for an electric vehicle? Ask about additional funds for the purchase and installation of a charging station.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules, all great reasons to treat your family to a water-on hot tub or swimming pools and spas. The perfect place to relax, unwind. You can use the hottest only bullfrog offers the
And then go right to someone
each safety schedule is to fit everybody in your family. There's never been a better time to spa and save. Go get to swimming pools today and reserve your new Bullfrog Spa. Bullfrog Spas. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful home. Discover more at ribbonpoolsandspas.com.
It's time for the 22nd Annual Veterans Christmas Charity Motorcycle Run. Please consider donating to help our local veterans spend the holidays at Door VA Medical Center. And for most veterans, this is the only Christmas they will get. 100% of all gifts and monetary donations go directly to support these men and women. Socks, gloves, blankets, even a $10 donation means so much. For more information and to make a donation, please visit veteran.org. Attention, did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members of Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially when you apply. The types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987,
What I do?
Even if you were turned down in the past, if you are, I will claim today, if you our loved ones spend time near negligent. Call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-700-4333. That's 1-800-700-4333. 1-800-700-4333.
This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. AAA Heating and Air must clear out its warehouse before new government efficiency regulations go into effect in 2023. No deals are returned down. Call today to get a new unit tomorrow. 800-677-1500. Broadcasting live from the
Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks. The early game.
1075 The Game.
Clemson's line shifts, snap it back. Rattler looking right side, now rolling right side. Wants to go on a corner route. He's got a man there. Juice Wells going at the 30, 20, trying to run away at the 10. He does so. 5. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Juice Wells. 72 daggum yards at Memorial Stadium. Are you kidding me? Boom, right back in it.
I told him, we're going to win this game in the second half because of you. He's a hell of a quarterback. He's a great kid, and what a leader he is for us. And their guy Trotter made a great play on the interception, and then there's a tough one down there in the end zone. But nobody panicked, and as crappy as that ball was, or not ball, but the result of that drive after we hit Juju on the 4th down play. And then to throw the interception, we didn't flinch. And I told him right then, look, man, you're a heck of a player, and we're going to win this game in the second half because of you. And our players believe in him and believe in each other.
Shane Beamer talking about Spencer Rattler, who was absolutely fantastic. Yes, some mistakes. Woo. I mean, the pick six, not good. The interception there in the end zone right before the half that would have gotten South Carolina to within 2. But that 75-yard bomb, I think a 72-yard bomb to Juice Wells right after Clemson had gone up 30-21. It looked like Clemson had gained all the momentum, and that was an absolute stunner and silenced Memorial Stadium. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Jack wants to weigh in this morning. Jack, got about a minute. How you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, buddy, them Gamecocks was on my mind all week long, man. And I've been listening to the radio all last week and didn't get an opportunity to call in like I want to. But can we take our hats off and pat that offensive line on their back? They deserve their accolade too. I give everything to Spencer Rattler. He played off, but we can't do nothing about our offensive line. I know we're up for time, but that's what I wanted to put out there. Go Gamecocks.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, again, we haven't gotten to the offensive line, but they were fantastic on Saturday and did just enough open holes. So it's not like the run game went out and motored over Clemson, but they did what they needed to do, ran the ball effectively in the second half, kept Clemson's defensive line at bay, gave Spencer Rattler just enough time to make a couple big throws. I mean, again, total team effort. I said it to start the program. You hear me say it a few more times. There's a lot of guys who could be MVP of that game for South Carolina. So many big plays. We will get back to the Love Chevy phone lines later on here on the show. Jamie Bradford due up in the next hour. We'll celebrate with him. It's a glorious morning in the upstate. I haven't seen any orange out there. Have you?
Gamecocks, Braves, the NFL with live local radio.
All right, let me sit here. Wrong one. Get both computers are rolling.
your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. What about this exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain, balls like arthritis, or injury? No drugs, no pain meds, and no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now 802-281-6860. Again, that's 802-281-6860. Appointments are available this coming week. Again, that's 802-281-6860. That's QC. At Samuel Snell's Law Firm, we've seen how terrible accidents turn lives upside down. We were proud to be the lawyers our clients depend on during their toughest moments. I'm Jason Reynolds. Call me when you're
How about them Gamecocks? Yeah, so
With experience and passion, Samuel Reynolds, True Injury, True Lawyers, 779-4000. Wait. Tell me where you get that money from. Oh man, all this money came from 43money.com right online. Are you saying you went to 43money.com and got all that money you need? Man, you know it. I went to 43money.com yesterday and man, $5,000 was in my account today. Straight up. Now hold on. 43money.com helped you get $5K like that? Yeah, man, that's right. 43money.com lets you buy personal loan for up to $5,000 for people like you and me, even if you don't have good credit. Man, I'm always short of cash. And 43money.com helped me get the money I need back. If you need extra money back, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular social bank. Go to 43money.com and you can get the loan you need now, regardless of your credit.
all right.
Is dinner was till 8?
Ask him. He's supposed to. If he's got to take the kids to school, then it's 8:15. But he may be like, kids aren't going to school.
Little Big's family looks forward to seeing you soon. What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by the power of Love Chevrolet. Things are good and only getting better. Love has more new Chevys on the lot than any other dealer in the Midlands. And we're ordering new vehicles every day. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy deal. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. It's Reaction Monday. Feel free to let it loose. Got thoughts about the game? Call or text us at 404-6100 or hit us up on Twitter at 107.5 The Game.
Gets in the victory formation. Rattler steps back. Takes a knee. Josh Mann starts to kiss the crap out
On your home of the Gamecocks.
And here comes the students on the field. The goalposts go down.
107.5.
And South Carolina has done it. They have upset the #5 Tennessee Volunteers 63-38.
The Game. The early game with Bill Gunter.
I will never forget asking Will Muschamp what he does for entertainment. He's like, we don't vacation around here. I was like, all right, this interview is going well. So anyway, earlier I was talking about how good I think Heath is at interviewing people and getting answers. And so I was making that joke and I thought on the fly, first thing that popped into my mind was tickling people.
And Jen Jensen.
I just really don't even know where to go with that. That's the first thing that came to mind, not about having intuitive questions, being insightful, and having done research.
He's a big teddy bear at the end of the day. Big teddy bear.
On your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Rattler takes a knee.
That is it, folks.
He throws the football up in the air, and the streak is over. Carolina has defeated #7 Clemson 31-30. They go back-to-back in top 10 wins. First, #5 Tennessee, and now #7 Clemson. And for the first time since 2013, they finished the season with back-to-back wins over top 10 opponents.
And that is the call from Saturday afternoon. I think Tommy Suggs was ready to fight Todd Ellis. They both wanted to get their calls in there. The excitement in the booth, and joining me now to continue the excitement, good buddy Jamie Bradford, who, oh my goodness, man, I just absolutely incredible Saturday afternoon, and becomes all the more incredible when South Carolina starts it. Unfortunately, like we've seen them do many a time in some bigger games on the road, they fall behind. It looks like Clemson might be on the verge of running them out the building, similar to last year. Last year, there was a lot of bad stuff that happened in a 30-0 loss. It looked like it might be on the way to head to that. And then just the culture to me, Shane Beamer, everything that he's done kicked in. Spencer Rattler became that dude. Kai Kroger turns into the best punter in college football, and it all comes together for a 31-30 victory.
No, it was special. It was special. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, and certainly I know the Gamecock fans had about as good of a Thanksgiving weekend as you probably can have now that the streak is once again over. That's 4 of them this year that Carolina has ended, Bill, on their way to 8 wins. I mean, it's just a magical – they're on a magical run right now. I know when you're hot, you hate to have a week off. Well, they're going to have a few weeks off until they have to play in a bowl game somewhere in Florida. I'm sure they wish they were playing this weekend again because it's clicking right now for Carolina football. But, there's one of the upstate media boys tweeted this weekend, and he said, when Clemson's up 14-0, it wasn't a matter of how much or if they'll win. It was just a matter of how much. Well, I'm not sure if he's checked the scoreboard since that tweet, but it's a 1-point difference in favor of the good guys. So what a year for Carolina, 8-4. Unbelievable.
Well, and that's what I opened the show talking about, Jamie, is the drastic turnaround from where I sat right here, where you joined me 2 weeks ago. And, again, I guess something changed. I don't know, maybe something down there, maybe I have no clue what happened, but on that Monday morning, both of us kind of agreed, hey, we understand why Shane Beamer doesn't want to make a mid-season move, but you know what? You kind of got to at this point, coming off of that Florida game. You kind of to save, and both of us agreed, you're on the verge of losing all the goodwill that you've built up through 24 months at that time. If you get routed by Tennessee, if you don't score against Clemson, you and I both kind of said that. It was kind of a change from where we had been post-Missouri, where we'd said, I kind of understand you don't make a change just yet. But after the Florida game, we thought, you sit here today, and it's a credit to Shane Beamer not hitting the eject button on the season. Because if you make that change, I do get it. You're essentially maybe giving up on the season, or you're throwing things into a little bit of chaos. Shane stayed the course, believed in what he's built. The team believed in what he's built. They did. He's right. They rallied. That locker room, that athletic facility over there is about the only place in this town where you could find hope and joy and belief. There wasn't a lot of it after the Florida game anywhere else. It was only in that athletic building, and that's a testament to what Shane Beamer's done, the culture he's built, how he kept those guys moving forward, and the 2 victories they've now picked up.
Yeah, well, I mean, that just it proves the point. You're right, because I eat my words. I mean, I said the same thing. I'm not sure, and I'm not a call for coaching changes guy. Bill, never have been. Fire this guy, fire that guy, especially in the middle of the season. It's just not the time that I think is right to do it. I've always kind of agreed with guys like Coach Tanner. Let's evaluate it at the end of the year. Get through the whole season. Let's evaluate it. Shoot, I remember in 2010, Carolina baseball started 6-4, and everybody wanted to fire Ray Tanner, and 2 years later they won 2 national championships. All right, so it gets out of hand sometimes, but I agree with you because I said the same thing, and that just goes to show what our purpose is. Our purpose is is entertainment. You know what I mean? Like we're here to have fun and entertain and move the week along for you. Shane Beamer gets paid a bunch of money to make these decisions, and he certainly has made the right ones because they're finishing at 8-4 and with a chance to win 9. It's what's amazing. This is going to catch you off guard. If he wins the bowl game, obviously this will change. But as of now, Shane Beamer, Will Muschamp, and Steve Spurrier all won 15 games in the first 2 seasons as head coach at Carolina. Can you believe that? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Shane is going for what would end up being number 16, and obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Spurrier's first 2 years they only played 11 regular season games and then got that 12th game in the bowl game. So Spurrier was only able to play 24, whereas both Muschamp and Shane will have had 2 extra games. But no, I mean again what Shane has done now, and it just changes. It just the perception of the program. You're in the top 20. You're a top 20 team now. You got a chance. If it plays out as maybe I'm hearing Gator Bowl, potentially Notre Dame's number 19, things kind of fall your way. You have a good win, like you go out and you knock off Notre Dame. You're on the cusp of finishing your second season in the top 15. It's not unrealistic to think some teams in front of you lose. You could slide in to finish right around 15. There's no way we thought that, really. And again, this is a team that started 1-2.
Right.
They won 7 of their last 9. There's a lot of things here that we talked about this summer, Jamie, that ended up coming to fruition.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, so the streaks, right? The Clemson streak is over, the Tennessee streak, A&M, Kentucky. All right. So I get all that. But again, part of our conversation seemingly every week is let's add context to the conversation itself. Not just the numbers, the wins, the losses. Where's the why and all of that? And when you actually add context to that, you look at all of the reasons why they shouldn't be there, but yet here they are. It goes back to the Florida game. I mean, they were DOA. I mean, it was awful. It was awful. It was cancel everything. We can't handle this anymore. And then they turned around and hang 63 on Tennessee, who would be sitting in the driver's seat to just ease their way into the college football playoff right now. They're out. And then this week they scored 31 and they beat Clemson. Should have scored more. Should have beat them by at least 2 touchdowns. And it's after, like you mentioned when you opened the program, they're down 14-0, and everybody's going, oh, here we go again. Okay, but they broke that streak too, by the way, of get down early, get out early. They got down early and they came back and won. Let me ask you this, and I mean, answer it honestly. Maybe I'm seeing through different colored glasses than somebody else. Did you have any doubt after 4 quarters on Saturday, Bill, who the better football team was?
It was as I have taken time to process things and let the Crown Royal wear off. You go back and you watch it, and as that game wore on, Jamie, South Carolina became the more dominant team. It wasn't that way. Yeah. You're right. It wasn't that way to start. But as that game kept being played, you saw a team wearing a bunch of white jerseys and black helmets becoming more and more confident and almost thinking, hey, we are the better team here. We know that they've got a number beside their name and we don't right now, but we're the better team. And you saw the other team going the opposite way. Like the frustration setting in on the Clemson sideline, and some of it was play calling, some of it was lack of being able to move the football like they wanted to. But yeah, you're right. By the time that game had come to an end, it really wasn't as close as the score indicated.
No, I say that, and I mean this. Any Clemson fan that's listening to the show right now, I mean this totally respectfully. Okay, like I'm not trying to be a jerk because Carolina finally won a game in the series and ended all this stuff. I'm just being honest. Like, I think that South Carolina is better than they are. I really do. They're better in special teams. This is as shocking as I can't believe I'm saying this. They're better on offense. They have better players on offense. I know that. The skill guys are better. Quarterback's better. You could argue about the offensive line, but they're better. And on defense, there are phases where they're better. Clemson's defensive line is better, but the linebackers are honestly pretty comparable. I mean, the Trotter kid is really, really special. He's going to play a long time. Carolina's secondary is better than theirs. And I don't know if I mentioned the special teams, but Carolina's got the best special teams in the country. I mean, so like when I was watching the game, I kept looking at my cousins and I was going, they're better than Clemson is. And they not only got close, they kind of caught up to them. So, I mean, we'll see as time goes on, what happens in this series. Does Carolina win another one or whatever it is? But I do know this. People can breathe for a year, Bill. This thing is over. The nightmare has ended for Gamecock football against their upstate rival in Carolina. is headed to a nice game in Florida somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was absolutely incredible to watch, and kudos to Marcus Satterfield for whatever he did. I have no clue, and I don't really care. But you said it last week. We've been hard on him, and last week you talked about his offense puts up 63 on Tennessee. This week, his offense rolled along. Spencer Rattler looked good. Kudos to him. I don't know what'll happen now, but definitely for these 2 weeks, he deserves to be the man of the town, along with Kai Kroger, along with Shane Beamer, along with Spencer Rattler, along with Juice Wells, along with Zach Pickens. Nate Atkins. Yes, you really could just name about 30 players that had incredible performances.
Yeah. Marcellus Dial and Nate Atkins there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. This guy's unbelievable watching them. And Torian Gray, is there a better secondary coach out there? Honestly, I mean, is there? I mean, look at the development of these dudes underneath him. All of them. It's incredible. I mean, and Clayton White, what he's doing back there with the safeties. The secondary has developed. You think about all those players. I know we're up to this break, but all those players that are in the league that played for Coach Muschamp, great players. This group here, I'm not sure is collectively as talented as that group was, but they are more developed than they were. There's no doubt about it. Major props to all of them.
803-404-6100. Jamie, we'll take some people want to talk. So we will let some people join us this morning here in the next segment. We'll get to some phone calls. We'll continue talking about this. Obviously, an incredible day on Saturday at Memorial Stadium if you were a South Carolina fan. Again, 803-404-6100. Listen to Jamie Bradford, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up
on the next Extra Point.
Preston officially re-downgraded Josh Heupel to Jeff Heupel.
He's back. He's back to Jeff Heupel.
What's the temperature instead of Jeff, Jim?
Jim Heupel?
If he loses to Vandy.
He's going down to Jim Heupel.
At what point on Saturday night did he become Jeff again?
There was a point where he was on the sideline sort of crying about I forget what play it was, but he was just on the sideline crying and he was shaking his head, and I just saw his
goblin.
Yeah, saw his lower chin woven around. I was like, oh, look at this.
So you had to actually see him, and then it was made manifest.
The Extra Point.
With Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Few feelings out there in the world like a big victory over your rival, especially when your rival's a top 10. Although one of those feelings is actually when you purchase a brand new vehicle. And at Love Chevrolet, they understand that. They make the car buying experience fun. They make it relaxing. They make it where you want to come back time after time after time when you've got to purchase that next vehicle. That's why Love Chevrolet has been in business for over 60 years, taking care of families here in the Midlands, just like yours and mine, making sure that you enjoy the experience and you get the best car, truck, or SUV available, and you get it for the absolute best price. That's the guarantee that Love Chevrolet has, that they will not sell above MSRP. And they also have the $1,000 low price guarantee, which means you can shop other dealerships, take that dealership's deal back to Love Chevrolet, and they will top it, or they will write you a check for $1,000. Hasn't happened yet. Won't happen anytime soon. So go visit the great folks at Love Chevrolet. Check out that incredible selection of vehicles, 14 acres of brand new Chevys from which to choose from, and let that great, incredible sales staff make sure that you find the car, truck, or SUV that you've been looking for. Again, visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Well, things certainly have picked up out on the highways this morning. We have an accident, Fire Tower Road at Kennerly Road. Also, I-20 westbound at Wilson Boulevard. A report of an object on the highway, I-26 eastbound right there at exit 101. Also an accident, I-26 eastbound at I-77. I-26 westbound at Malfunction Junction there at I-20. 378 at I-20, an accident there. And North Brickyard Road at Two Notch Road, we have a report of traffic lights malfunctioning. 67 will be our high today, 68 tomorrow. Maybe see some rain in the forecast again for Wednesday. 54 right now at 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence.
All right.
of the Cheesecake Factory. Through December 31st, get a free $15 bonus card for every $50 gift card purchased at thecheesecakefactory.com or at any of the Cheesecake Factory restaurants. Visit thecheesecakefactory.com for more details.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family.
All of it.
With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a certified advisor can grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses. So you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Broker service number NYSE.
Give the gift of the Cheesecake Factory. Through December 31st, get a free $15 bonus card for every $50 gift card purchased at thecheesecakefactory.com or at any of the Cheesecake Factory restaurants. Visit thecheesecakefactory.com for more details.
Sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Northern Tool and Equipment is a problem solver's paradise. This Cyber Week, they have the perfect gift for every solver on your list. From names like Milwaukee, DeWalt, and Northstar. Northern Tool and Equipment, made for gift giving.
Did you know State Credit Union now offers the same services big banks offer? Services like online account opening, online loan applications, mobile banking, remote check deposit, person-to-person transfers, electronic signatures, and more. All with better interest rates and lower fees than the big banks. Check them out today and see why over 400 people per month are joining State Credit Union. Visit them online at scu.com. That's SC.com. SC Department of Corrections is hiring food service specialists with a $7,500 sign-on bonus. Start a new career with great employee benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com for info. Sponsored by SC Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station. Brightening the lives of children and families is a passion. Turn that passion into results as a child welfare case manager. Learn more at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services. This could be the best Christmas ever. Hi, I'm Travis McNeil. At Oliver Wells Foundation, we are transforming lives at our men's center and our women's and children's center. Your donations make a daily impact as we provide lifestyle, jobs, new house. You can spread hope and joy this holiday season by donating $35 today at oliverwells.org. Let's celebrate Christ this Christmas. Have the fall leaves clog your gutters? Look for the guys in the powdered blue trucks. Let the guttermen clean them out. The pros at the guttermen can keep you out of the gutter. Call 803-791-7147 or theguttermen.com. We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the guttermen. How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks. Match the piece, maybe not the hottest and the hippest and the coolest, but buddy, in the late 90s, there was nobody bigger in the game. People were going to put fun at this. I was working with Logan Paul. Yes, you're trying to tap into or attract a segment of the audience that you don't already have. I mean, I think the Logan Paul thing is taking it to an entirely different universe. 83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen. This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. AAA Heating and Air must clear out your warehouse before you go with efficiency regulations go into effect in 2023. No deals will be turned down. Call today to get a new unit tomorrow. 803-677-1500. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by, shop online today, and see why Herndon Chevrolet.
Blake, I'll get in that. Remind me of that later. It's kind of changed. It used to be, but it's not the same now with how they do the bowls.
4 wide receiver set. Carolina in a 4-man front. DJ fakes inside, wants to throw it. He's got a post route going down the field into coverage. Picked up. The Gamecocks have it. Marcellus style takes DJ down, and the Gamecocks have got the football with a 1-point lead with 6:37 to go in the ball game at Memorial Stadium.
Just gave him a game ball in there. I mean, for a kid that Grew up here in the upstate. He lost his dad 2 summers ago, and his dad was his biggest fan. And, to come up here, they kept that was the whole game plan today was we were going to, like Tennessee last week, we were going to commit everyone basically to the box and tell our corners, go play ball. And he was out there on an island by himself a lot today, and he just kept responding. So just so happy for him, and what a competitor he is.
Jamie, you're right. You mentioned it, Marcellus Dial. Darius Rush has worked himself into being a potential NFL draft pick, maybe the top 3-4 rounds. Cam Smith's made himself a lot of money the last 2 weeks. He's about to be a well-paid. He's about to add to the legacy of DBU at South Carolina. So Marcellus Dial has been the one where Hendon Hooker and Clemson all looked at and said, we're going to pick on that guy. And I tell you what, that young man, especially on Saturday, rose to the occasion.
It's burned him too, hasn't it? Absolutely. That kid, easy to pull for a kid like that. People, I know Shane just mentioned a little bit of his story. I'm not sure how much people remember that his father passed a couple of years ago. Of course, I've got a special place in my heart for people that go through that because I lost my dad when I was a little boy. But you watch him play, and you saw it throughout the season, Bill. He gets better, and he gets better, and he gets better. And we've seen Darius Rush do the same. Cam Smith, he's gotten better, but it's hard to really point to a bunch of moments where you can show it because they don't really throw him the ball a whole lot. And then you look at the safeties, the young guys, Eamon Worry and DQ and these guys. How about this defense, man? Think about this for a second, okay? All right, so think about this. In the game on Saturday, because I know, again, context. So we're going to look back at the schedule in probably a couple of months, and the average fan is going to go, well, I'm not sure why everybody's talking about the defense. I mean, they did give up 68 points in their last 2 games. But did they, right? Like, what type of positions were they in? Think about this in the Clemson game on Saturday. Clemson punted the football 9 times. To put that into context, Carolina scored 9 touchdowns against Tennessee the week before. They threw a pick. South Carolina's defense gave up 116 yards total in the second half. They've been a second-half D throughout the year. And we all know that Uyunglele was 8 for 29 for 99 yards, Bill. But how about this? He was just 7 of 28 for 40 yards without the 59-yarder that went to Bo Collins in the second quarter. In the second half, he threw for all of 13 against this pass defense. And as you mentioned, or Shane mentioned, they put him out there. They said, go play ball. Go play ball. Everybody, the common term is they put them on an island. Go play ball. Well, they played ball, and they were the better football team. It was incredible.
803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Let a couple people weigh in with Jamie and I this morning. Josh has waited more than patiently. Josh, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Bill, Jen, hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving.
Was absolutely fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, how could you not have had a great weekend? I mean, I'm a happy Gamecocks, gotta say. And the way this all lined out it was like so many odds in the favor of Clemson. Just 40-game winning streak, but that's what made it more special. A 40-game winning streak, go up to Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, blah blah blah. They were showing the stats or the different things throughout the game of how many times Clemson had won when they're leading at halftime, and then again at the fourth quarter, how many times they'd won games when they're leading in the fourth quarter, and it was astronomical. I'm like, wow, this is a good team. They're legitimate, I'm just so happy for my Gamecocks. So happy for those guys that haven't, especially the seniors that haven't got to win a game against Clemson. That's special for them to go out like that. And Rattler has just played his butt off and just stuck in there. he's done an amazing job. I'm really happy for him. And Nate Atkins, I mean, what can you say about him? That's why everybody that was questioning why a guy like that was getting playing time, it's because of that. It's because of that little bit of extra effort to, make a huge catch that is like a highlight reel catch. That just it makes the drive, and then you're able to go down and score. And then at the end of the game, that little bit of effort to make the tackle and punch the ball out, that's why you get to play. And I'm just happy for Shane Beamer, for Rattler. I mean, again, like I'll say one more thing. Like Beamer was really classy, and I love that. And I'll just have to say, like, I don't know if Rattler got a FAA violation for how high he threw that ball at the end of the game, but hey, I was so happy to see it, man. And one more thing, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Corey, and one more thing, the Clemson. I'll say this: I'll be classy. I know that Shane Beamer was classy. The classiest I can be with Clemson is to say this: you just lost, according to Dabo Swinney, you just lost to the fake Carolina. So good luck against the real Carolina this weekend. Go Gamecocks.
Thank you for the phone call, Josh. Let's stay on the Love Chevy phone lines here for a minute. Mike is up next. He's waiting very patiently. Mike, how you doing? What's on your mind this morning?
I'm doing great this morning, and just wanted to. I'm glad you made the point just a minute ago because you were exactly right. I mean, the score does not represent just the beat down that Carolina put on them. It could have, and to Jamie Bradford's point, I mean, this could have easily and probably should have been at least two more scores on them, but. I mean, just a fabulous afternoon. And I also want to give a shout out. Somebody that's getting lost in the shuffle and all this and all the kudos is Jenkins. He was the one that put the icing on the cake for us. I mean, that kid, we haven't had to go to him much this season, but every time that we have, he's been clutch. I think I heard that he was 10 for 10 for the season. Jeter. Jeter. I'm sorry. But yeah, and I mean, but he is just he's come through every time we've needed him, and late in the ball game when we were struggling trying to get back into the end zone. I mean, he put the icing on the cake. So I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle at all this, but I appreciate it, and Gamecocks is going to be a great bowl season.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the phone call, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Jamie, I brought that up. I mean, Mitch Jeter this year, 10 of 10. Probably, I don't know if he'll get awards that he deserves. He should. Somebody else on our live stream pointed out, I believe it was on our live stream, pointed out his kickoffs and putting him in the back of the end zone and taking the ball out of Will Shipley's. Took it out of a lot of people's hands this year. Again, a credit to Pete Limbo for what he's done. But yeah, Mitch Jeter, 10 of 10 on the season kicking. I think John Whittle was mentioning it last night in an article in the Big Spur that basically maybe because he has not kicked enough field goals, maybe he won't get the accolades and the attention that he deserves. But he's a guy. By the way, kudos. I think you're a guy. I saw on Twitter, Parker White got engaged over the weekend. So the Gamecock kickers, incredible weekend for the Gamecock kickers.
Man, there's turning into quite a run of kickers at Carolina, isn't it?
It really has been.
Think about this. I mean, not just kickers. I mean, Ty Kroger's. I mean, what do you say about this guy? I mean, Charlton goes to the league, and everybody's wondering why Muschamp's offering this cat a scholarship. And I mean, these guys. You talk about the kickers. I can't remember the last time they've only kicked 10 field goals in a season. I can't remember the last time they've been perfect in a season ever. Actually, it's probably never happened. But yeah, I mean, you go back. I mean, I can just go back pretty much the last 17 years and think about the consistency that the Gamecocks have had there. Josh Brown and Ryan Suckup and so on and so forth. I mean, that's where it started, and look where it's at right now. They just keep replacing dudes with dudes. I mean, Elliott to Parker to Mitch. I mean, these guys can kick it. And Pete Limbo. I mean, this is like we literally could have another 30 minutes of a segment of guys that don't get talked about enough. And I think that's kind of when you start to realize, Game's done a pretty good job here. You're not just talking about Spencer Rattler. The rest of the country is, but that's all that they paid attention to. We've watched every minute of every game, and we're bringing up names of guys that a couple of months ago, I'm not sure that they were really on your radar. And we just continue to do that because they've developed a bunch of players this year. And of course, winning the last 2 games the way they have is certainly kind of exposed it even more. And the fact that Shane's been right all along, and he never backed down from his comments and his statement, Bill. And what he kept saying was, guys, we got a good football team. And a lot of people kept laughing at him, but they're not laughing now. Carolina's 8-4 with top 10 wins.
803-404-6100. Yeah, we've got plenty of people on the phone lines. We'll try and get to you as we roll along. He's Jamie Bradford. I'm Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. Too much excitement this
Wow.
morning.
I'm going to say, I didn't know I turned into Jim.
Yeah, Jen Jensen. Jen, yeah.
Jim Jenkins.
And I've barely had any coffee, and look, I'm just rolling right on. I did have a little bit of a Dr. Pepper to start the day, so maybe that's the problem. 803-404-6100. We'll get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines when we return. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Our 15th anniversary celebration on 107.5 The Game
is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, getting you better sooner.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app. 107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
I-26 westbound near I-77, report of an accident there. Also working one Fire Tower Road at Kennerly Road. I-20 westbound at Wilson Boulevard. I-26 eastbound at I-77 right there, exit 116, an accident. I-26 westbound at Malfunction Junction, that has been cleared. So if it's slow, it should start moving a little bit better shortly. And Highway 378 at I-20, still working an accident there. And an object on the highway, I-26 eastbound at exit 101. Looking for sunny skies today, 67 for the high, 68 tomorrow, maybe some rain, and 70 on Wednesday, 54 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof or you need a whole new roof, you need to call.
Well, probably going to have to find, I know that bottle of Crown was French oak cask, which I don't think is in production anymore. Turn that off. Yeah, that bottle was French oak cask Crown Royal, and cask finished. And I don't know if you can. Got a wide range of I don't know if these are different, but it was very good. It was a very good bottle. Let's just say that. One place I'm looking at was. But yeah, that was may have to find another one. Oh yeah, back to this. Yeah, the way they do it now is there's not really a pecking order. You know, the SEC, the bowls, and the universities have some input, but there's not a pecking order like there used to be. So you could conceivably see South Carolina go to the Citrus Bowl, even though LSU is typically the SEC likes to put if the loser in the SEC championship game does not make the Big Six, does not make the Big Six bowl games. That the SEC typically likes to put the loser of that game in the Citrus Bowl, but because LSU could be on a 2-game losing streak, or if they get blown out by Georgia, what I'm hearing is you could conceivably see South Carolina go in there. But I know the Gator Bowl wants them, and again, I think I saw one projection that had like Purdue in the Citrus Bowl, and so you think about like South Carolina versus Notre Dame in the Gator Bowl, or South Carolina versus Purdue in the Citrus Bowl. I think most people would rather play Notre Dame, but they're about one. I don't know what the differences in payouts are. Obviously, one's a New Year's Day, or technically a New Year's Day bowl. Everything's played Monday the 2nd now, because the first is a Sunday. Which now I kind of wonder if everybody's going to have that Monday off. If everybody has to go back to work, that's kind of actually an interesting question. Citrus Bowl is the 2nd. All the New Year's bowls are actually on January 2nd, because January 1st is a Sunday, so that's NFL Day. So when the 1st falls on a Sunday, all the bowl games get played on the 2nd. I think. Let me go back and look. I think South Carolina's last Citrus Bowl victory actually came on a January 2nd. I think maybe it was the Nebraska one. Does that seem right? Let's see, what, 2011? Yeah, the Capital One Bowl victory over Nebraska actually was on a Monday, January the 2nd.
(803-404-6100). That's how you can be a part of the program this morning. Jamie Bradford joining us as he does each and every Monday. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. LJ wants to weigh in this morning. He's waited patiently. LJ, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Well, good morning, Bill. It's been a pretty easy show for you this morning, hasn't it?
Been a very easy show. Yes, it helps. Been a pretty. It really, honestly, has been a really easy last 3 weeks, to be dead honest. On Monday, the Florida game was easy to do show. Last week, people were fired up. This week, people are even more fired up.
Oh, and they are just, hey, and we're not through yet.
That's right.
We still got one more. So, but I was going to call in, but, everybody's talking about MVPs. Well, this was pretty much a team effort. I mean, everybody had their part. I mean, Rush could have had a pick six. I don't know who the other receiver was. I was at the game. We called it. We was at the litter box with some up-pay members, and believe me, if you're a Gamecock fan compared to a Tiger fan, going to Clemson is awfully quiet. Going to Willie B, it's electricity. So there's a huge difference between going up there to that litter box and watching the ball game compared to Willie B. But anyway, Shane never let these kids get out of this game. He became that head coach that I was looking for. He became the general. He's the head of the chicken. So I am just very proud of each and every one of those players and that coaching staff. Now, Satterfield, he had a couple of issues. He made a couple of kind of funky calls. But, hey, it all worked out to the best because Kroger put them back down there deep. So, but the main thing was Shane has took charge of this team. After that Florida debacle, he has really turned this ball club around, and it's something I think the nation is really looking at South Carolina. I think it's really going to help us in the long run with all our athletics. Because, football makes to the top tier. Everything else falls in place. And, I tell you what, if nobody could hear, they sure could hear me hollering. I know that much. Because I didn't let up. And I'm just proud to be a Gamecock and Gamecock Nation. It's only beginning. So, but we still got one more. And we go to the Gator Bowl. I'm not sure about our record. It isn't too good down there. But with Shane Beamer, everything's changing. So it's a good day. And thanks for everything, Bill, and what you do. and we will talk to you maybe after the Gator Bowl. But go ahead and get your rooms from Jacksonville, baby.
I will. Thank you so much, LJ, and good to hear from you. Jamie, bowl discussion. You talk to people like I do, the word, and we've had a couple of discussions about this on our live stream this morning. I don't know. It's a fluid situation. I do think by Thursday or Friday we will start to have a better feel. LSU losing that game on Saturday night to Texas A&M, that was a shocker that Texas A&M got off of the mat and that LSU let that one get away. But what I have heard is that the way South Carolina is playing, the Citrus Bowl is in play. If not, the Gator Bowl is the likely destination. It appears that what is now the ReliaQuest Bowl, formerly the Outback Bowl in Tampa, likely Mississippi is going to go there. Lane Kiffin is going to take Mississippi there. We know there's a history between South Carolina and Tampa. Certainly a lot of really fun games down there. Some victories over Ohio State and Michigan that South Carolina fans have been able to enjoy. But I think that the SEC here will concede to the wishes of both South Carolina and the Gator Bowl to finally get the Gamecocks back into Jacksonville is kind of what I understand at this point. And I don't know if you've heard kind of the same.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything different than honestly from what I was hearing last week. And now last week Tampa was not necessarily in the conversation,
right.
But when you win like that, it brings it into it. And the league, people need to remember something here. In the old days, the league will dictate where the teams play. So South Carolina is kind of at the mercy of the league office. With that said, that does not mean that they will not be fielding calls from the administration in Columbia. Now, let's also remind people of something. Let's say it doesn't work out the way that I think most people, regardless of bowl tier or status, most people just want to have a chance to go see Carolina play again, and they want that to be the easiest chance possible. So Jacksonville checks all the boxes. I haven't been there. You have a really good opponent in potentially Notre Dame and all those things. But let's remember something. If the league office decides, okay, they're not going here, we're going to send them to Tampa, which I think if you had to pick of the three destinations, that's probably last on the list for Carolina fans.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that you run to the message boards and start beating up Ray Tanner again. I promise you they are doing all that they can to make this the best possible scenario for Gamecock football. That includes the team, that includes the fans. It's just a matter of what is going to be best for the league, and the results are determining that, and the league office will ultimately put their final stamp of approval on what they think is best for the SEC.
Yeah, again, things are fluid. They are subject to change as the week goes by. But again, I just at least what I'm hearing is that South Carolina would prefer the Gator, that the Gator would like to get the Gamecocks down there because, again, the tickets will be gobbled up, before you can blink. I think I looked last night, and it's $100 for a regular seat. I think it was $125 for club seats through I believe what is the Gamecock Club offer that you got to go ahead and get in. So I
will say this. Let me interrupt you real quick. I will say this. Did anybody see the report about the Jacksonville concession stands last week?
No.
Did you?
I didn't know. I'm terrified to ask.
Well, yeah, you should be.
Okay.
They had something like 90 violations, and they found a couple of dead rats. So if we do go to Jacksonville, I'd say shove a pack of crackers in your back pocket or something to get yourself through the game before you go down there and buy yourself a rat dog or something like that. You don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, tailgate a little bit harder there, and they eat a little bit more at the tailgate. I hadn't seen that, and thankfully I did not. But yeah, that is something. I do think my gut here as we sit at 7:46 on a Monday morning is that the Gator Bowl will be the destination. Sounds like Notre Dame, and we'll talk more about this. But man, a chance to add another win over a marquee program, a ranked team, would be something that's really incredible. We'll continue talking about this. He's Jamie Bradford. I'm Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The OGs of 107.5 The Game.
Jay Phillips, Heath Klein, and Tommy Moody.
Sharing their memories of 107.5 The Game and celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Just download the 107.5 The Game app or go to 107.5thegame.com to check out the podcast.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app. 107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Highway 378 at I-20, an accident there. Also 277 northbound at Fontaine Road. I-26 eastbound at I-77. We do have a report of a tie-up. I-20 westbound at Wilson Boulevard. Also, still working an earlier crash, Fire Tower Road at Kennerly Road. And I-26 westbound near I-77, that would be exit 116. The right lane is currently blocked. Forecast for today, looking for sunny skies, 67 for the high, 68 for tomorrow, maybe some rain coming in for Wednesday and a high of 70. Right now, it's 55 at 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Capital Palmetto Builders.
Uh-oh, that little leak could be a big problem. Capital Palmetto Builders has 22.
Although he received help, he still struggles with his problem. As far as I'm concerned, there's no finer speaking whatsoever. Centuries ago, Moses was intimidated because of a similar speech problem. The Old Testament reveals that Moses did everything in his power to talk God out of giving him the assignment to deliver Israel from slavery. Thankfully, God didn't listen.
Oh, let's see here. Yeah, yep. I agree with this. Very unfortunate. You hung in there. I'll give you that. We'll see. I was just trying to glance real quick. I mean, I've seen all the bowl projections to begin with, but I actually have not seen the athletics. I don't think I have. All the projections are running together at this point. Oh, excuse me. Oh, wait. Here we go. Oh, yeah. World Cup is on. Hadn't even so much football talk. Totally forgot about soccer. Hey, I wonder, the downside to Saturday is that the game was on the game, given that it was at an ACC opponent, it would run on the ACC network. I don't think the SEC can run, even though it's both are ESPN subsidiaries, whatever it is. I don't think that they can that the SEC network will be able to re-show the win over Clemson because it's an ACC game and the ACC network has the rights to it. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that.
South Carolina Department of Corrections has increased pay for nurses and medical staff. They're hiring RNs, LPNs, and more statewide. Nursing sign-on bonuses up to $10,000. Shift and great employee benefits available. Visit joinscdc.com to apply. Sponsored by South Carolina Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station. This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. AAA Heating and Air must clear out its warehouse
Oh, I missed Willie Taggart being let go at FAU.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by, shop online today, and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. With Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks. The early game, 1075 The Game.
$7:53 on a Monday morning, a glorious Monday morning as the Gamecocks victorious in the Palmetto State Bowl, 31-30. A lot of you weighing in real quick. Here's a stat for you, Jamie, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to alter it just a tad to fit my narrative. South Carolina this year played 4 top 15 teams. 4 top 15 teams. They went 3-1. Kentucky, when South Carolina played them, Kentucky was 13th in the country. Obviously, Clemson and Tennessee. The only loss comes to one of the 2 undefeated teams in the country, Georgia, losing that game. Arkansas was number 16 when the Gamecocks played them. So I'm just going to say top 15 teams and not back it up to top 20. So very, very strong stat there. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines real quick. Larry has waited for most of the hour. Larry, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Holiday greetings from Virginia Beach. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that stat up, Bill, because good morning to both Bill and Jen. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that stat up because I was like, hey, wait a minute. We beat 3 top 15 teams this season. And, the thing that I'm most impressed with about this team is that Coach Beamer has our players believing in his system and what they're doing. And I'm really proud of the coaching staff, and I'm very proud of how they've inspired our young players to really play well. Because I'm with Coach Beamer. We have a good football team, okay? All we have to do is go out and make the plays. And even when we got a little bit behind the 8 ball, we still came back against Clemson. I think our players knew, hey, all right, we gave up 2 touchdowns really fast, but we got these guys. We got these guys. All we got to do is keep our nose to the grindstone and play football, and we got them. But anyways, hey, y'all have a great day now.
You too. Thank you for the call, Larry. Jamie, I mean, again, you look at the season in general. It's odd how we get here, but it is more than a successful season now.
Well, this is an era where everything is exposed and everybody has access to everything, and it's an era where you can make a lot of noise real quick, right? Social media and all these things, and coaches, they've got to find a way to make sure that they can minimize that and keep their guys focused and on track because they're exposed to it, they see it, they hear it. Well, he did it. I mean, Carolina literally DOA after the Florida game, and then the next 8 quarters have been just simply magical. And here they are, headed into the off season. Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks are on the front page of college football's page on ESPN.com today. It's a special time, no doubt.
It's absolutely incredible. We'll continue talking about this. Good news. We have got a whole nother hour. Jamie Bradford's going to hang around a little bit longer. We'll get to more of your phone calls. Plenty of people weighing in on the Firehouse Subs text line as well. And we'll get more into that bowl discussion. Also, we got to get this covered just a tad. Luke Fickell to Wisconsin? Never saw that one coming. Matt ruled in Nebraska. Figure that. We'll talk more. Some college football news as well. It's the early game. 107.5 The Game.
Celebrating our 15th anniversary is Columbia's Sports Talk Station.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
I'm here with Jacob Crowder, known to our listeners as the Mortgage Guru. We're all hearing about mortgage rates right now. Jacob, what's the market telling you?
Now more than ever, it's important to know your mortgage banker. When working in a volatile market, it's important to be well-informed and have the ability to move quickly. Working with a local bank gives you access to bank products and superior service. Here at First Palmetto, we have your best interest at heart and have the ability to get the job done. Call me today, 803-719-1005, or email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
That's good stuff, Jacob. Tell me more.
We are still seeing a competitive purchase market. Having a strong pre-qualification from a local bank goes a long way with a tight market. With housing supply still being minimal, We're doing a lot of construction loans. If you're looking to buy land and build on it, or if you're looking to build on land you already have, we're a great resource for construction loans. Call us today to discuss how we can help you. 803-719-1005 or email at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
In times like these, you need an expert. Call the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder, 803-719-1005.
First Palmetto Bank is an equal housing lender, a member of FDIC, and all loans are subject to approval. My NMLS number
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules. All great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Griffin Pools and Spas. The perfect place to relax, unwind, leave the day behind. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy System. Each seat is customized to fit everybody in your family. There's never been a better time to spa and save. Come into Griffin Pools today and reserve your new Bullfrog Spa. Bullfrog Spas. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful home. Discover more at griffinpoolsandspas.com.
Griffin Pools and Spas. We make you feel good.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com. Canty can fix it.
This could be the best Christmas ever. Hi, I'm Travis McNeil. At Oliver Gospel Mission, we are transforming lives at our Men's Center and our Women's and Children's Center, Toby's Place. Your donations make a daily impact as we provide life skills, jobs, and new housing. You can spread hope and joy this holiday season by donating $35 today at olivergospel.org. Let's celebrate Christ this Christmas.
The power of Christ, the power of Christ.
You're invited to the grand opening of Palmetto Cards and Collectibles. South Carolina's largest hobby shop is now open at 404 West Main Street in Lexington. Family owned by card collectors. Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Baseball.
I kicked Bill out. He's not coming back. Just kidding. He'll be back to answering questions in a minute. He had to run down the hall. It's been a busy morning in here. Sorry, haven't gotten to really interact too much, but all good stuff, right? Mother-in-law's in town. Started the game, and she said, "Now, who is the orange?" And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's painful. Very painful. We had to educate her pretty quick. Not good. There you go, Brian. I don't know if you had to run out to the car or what. You said just build in some time for me. Okay.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting.
Thank you, Patrick. I don't get to play as much as I want some mornings. Gets a little busy.
We did it, so can you.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Okay. And we have workmen out here, so it's gotten really loud. They're putting in some new lights, which is great because it's usually so dark out there. So we like that, but they're just kind of noisy, moving all the scaffolding around and all that.
And now an important message from Josh Logan.
We are missing the sounds of a busy morning, the sounds of joyfulness, crowded sidewalks. We are missing the soundtrack of our lives. We all yearn to connect again, and we will, but we must keep following the necessary guidelines until we are all safe.
On a personal note, the prayers that you guys sent to my mom or whatever, kind of need them again. She's back in the hospital, so, any guidance we can get or support Definitely would be appreciated. Can't catch a break, little lady. Okay, there he is. All right, Bill is back. Don't know if he's better than ever, but he's here.
Looks like perfect timing.
Oh, yeah, I've added a few, but it's all good. I knew you had to run out to the car for a minute, so I covered.
Hey, did I got Jamie until 8:15?
Yes.
8:15.
Yep.
Okay.
Want any audio to start the hour?
Let's play that final call.
Yeah, I figured. Thank you, Hope.
Play final call and then play that championship level team we just beat. So final call and the championship level. So 27 into 1.
At 1075 The Game. Or drive to Bill Gunner's house and yell your thoughts at him. And in motion, speed sweep to the wide side. One block out another. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown.
He is currently blocked.
1075 The Game. The early game with Bill Gunter.
You can hear that right here on 1075 The Game. That'll be with Jerry. Just going to combine both of their names, Jay and Terry.
Today, I wanted to talk about why so many of you can understand English but find it hard to speak.
Gotcha. But that would be the good name of their show, wouldn't it?
So it's kind of like are you kind of putting it like a bromance type thing?
Well, did you hear what I did? Did you really catch? I know you were there doing it first. I decided to use the first letter of Terry's name.
Right, I heard Jerry.
Well, I said Tay. Maybe Terry and Jay. And then I decided I'd mess it up one more time by going with Jerry.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I just keep getting PSAs.
You're on a planet right now. You're on a space rock floating in nothingness. Infinite nothingness.
The early game.
1075 The Game. Rattler takes a knee. That is it, folks. He throws the football up in the air, and the streak is over. Carolina has defeated number 7, Clemson, 31-30. They go back-to-back in top 10 wins. First, number 5, Tennessee, and now number 7, Clemson. And for the first time since 2013, they finished the season with back-to-back wins over top 10 opponents. First of all, best of luck to Coach Sweeney and his team next week in Charlotte. I mean, that is a championship-level team that we just beat. And tons of respect for him and what he's about. And I told him in that handshake, like, we played our ever-living you-know-what off because of we knew what it would take to beat these guys.
Shane Beamer, after Saturday's 31-30 victory, Jamie Bradford is a very happy coach. I'm sure if you've been on social media, if you've looked at Twitter, South Carolina has done a good job of Justin King, as always, who's phenomenal. But South Carolina as a whole, the media team, the social media team has done a phenomenal job of recapturing some moments. I saw a great one with Shane hugging his mother and obviously taking some pictures with his father after the game. All around, I mean, just it was a feel great Saturday afternoon for South Carolina Nation.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And there was just, again, so many reasons in the game to kind of lose some hope, because before the game, Bill, if you said, well, hey, here's what's going to happen on Saturday, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios here. Both are going to be true. 54 rushing yards, and they will be down 14-0 to start the ball game, either win or lose. Pretty much everybody says, oh, well, we've seen this before. Yeah, they got this, and they probably got throttled. But they didn't. They won the game, and they ended that streak against them. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that this season just what a year, what a strange year, right? To finish 8-4, got the bowl games coming up. Once again, you got a couple of strange games in there that you did win. You got a couple of strange games that you lost, and kind of up and down, but certainly finished on it up. And here's the thing, too, right? So Shane, this is turning into Shane Beamer's South Carolina Gamecocks, Bill. And here's what I mean by that. when he comes in, he's been compared to specifically his two predecessors a lot, and for good reason. It's nothing that has really anything to do with Shane. I'm just talking about in general the fan base. You went from the best to ever do it here to what I think a lot of people would say is one of the worst to ever do it here. There have been worse coaches than Will Muschamp, no doubt. But, in our generation, in our lifetime, we're looking at Will Muschamp, and he was a failure. So you went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and here comes Shane, and you don't really know. A lot of people didn't know what they were going to get, right? Are you going to get something that more resembles Steve Spurrier, or are you going to get something that more resembles Will Muschamp? You just didn't really know. And there's been a couple of, obviously the conversation being ongoing throughout the season, dating back to last year, the offense and just stuff that is kind of stuck there, and we don't really know what's going to happen with it. But now you're beginning to see what Shane started doing day one, which is just stay positive, stay focused, re-energize. It's working. It is working. And they went out and signed good football players. They developed good football players. And once again, now you've got maybe the surprise story in the SEC this year alongside LSU.
Yeah, it's again, and it's a drastic 180, more so than anything I've ever seen from where we sat 2 Mondays ago, coming off of that Florida game. Jamie, real quick, let's touch on a little bit. Obviously, the college football world as a whole, Michigan goes into Columbus and absolutely decimates Ohio State. They run the ball. Donovan Edwards had 2 monster runs, a 75-yarder and an 85-yarder late in that game to put it away. And I don't know if Michigan can keep up with Georgia, but right now they are without a doubt the second best team in the country.
Oh yeah. There's no question. They good for those guys. They've been in Ohio State's shadow for so long, but 2 years in a row, and they've kind of put that W in the win column this year against their rival with a major exclamation point. So yeah, they're number 2, no doubt. TCU's number 3, and I don't know who's number 4, but maybe it's Southern Cal, maybe it's Ohio State. I don't know.
I hope it's Southern Cal. I'd love to see. Michigan was there last year, so not necessarily new blood per se, but Michigan, TCU, Southern Cal. If you have Southern Cal at 4 and Georgia at 1, I think that Georgia defense against Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley would be a lot of fun. Michigan, TCU might feel a little bit like a JV game. I don't know what the national perception of watching a TCU game is for a lot of people in a college football playoff, but I'm all for that. I'd love to see things play out that way this weekend. Georgia roll, Michigan win the Big Ten, for TCU to win the Big 12. And then they play Kansas State, who's playing really good football, by the way, as well. Kansas State beating Kansas this past weekend, so it's not going to be a cakewalk for TCU. But I'd like to see it. And then I'd love to see Southern Cal in it. I think that there's people who look at Lincoln Riley, the way he left and took some players with him. I think some people look at them as a villain. They might actually make Kirby Smart look more fan-friendly, him and that $4 haircut he's got. But Southern Cal and Utah on Friday night on Fox at 8 o'clock. And then obviously LSU, Georgia will be pretty entertaining on Saturday. Kansas State, TCU will be the early game, noon on ABC. I'd love to see it hold to form. And then, by the way, you got Purdue, Michigan. Michigan gets Purdue in the Big Ten championship game as well at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a lot these conference championship games this weekend leave a lot to be desired. They just do. Kansas State, TCU. I like TCU. I like the story. I like watching them play football. Gritty football team. Sonny Dykes' first year there. But just when it talks to the powers of the sport, TCU is right now a power of the sport. They're ranked in the top 4 for goodness sakes. But traditionally, it's not there. LSU getting beat by A&M really put a kink into this. I think going into Saturday night, I thought, man, if LSU can pull a rabbit out of the hat next Saturday, they might have a chance to make this a really good game against Georgia. And I don't really feel that way at all now. It's what's crazy is I think the Pac-12 championship game might end up being the best of all of them. Southern Cal and Utah before the season. I think a lot of people thought well, the Pac-12 goes through Utah. Well, they backdoored their way in there. Southern Cal earned their way in there, and we'll see what happens there. And then again, Purdue and Michigan in the Big Ten championship game. I mean, there's nothing that intrigues me about the game, but it's a championship game, and we'll watch it. Here's what we do know. If there's any upsets, it certainly can throw this thing way out of whack because none of the teams that are favored in these games are expected to lose, and they're really not expected to be in a close game either.
Now I'll get the Vegas spreads on them here shortly. One other, the big news yesterday, Jamie, I was shocked by this, is that Wisconsin, I think, lands the coaching stud out there. Cincinnati heading over to the Big 12 here coming up, but they've lost their head football coach. Luke Fickell will go to Wisconsin. I think it's a good fit. I think that looks like a success all the way around. I credit Wisconsin for going out, and Chris McIntosh is the athletic director there. Credit to him for going and getting a guy that a lot of people wanted and thought maybe he would stay at Cincinnati given their soon to be moved to the Big 12. But that was a shocker. I didn't see this one in play.
No, I didn't. Not to get off topic. What did you think about the Matt Rule hire?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. That's another. I expected that. It seemed like a lot of discussion as it pertained to him wanting to go to, and I know Nebraska is not a lower profile school, but just it fit more in line, I guess, with what he knew from what I understand, as opposed to an Auburn. And I think it's a good hire. And look, I grew up in the 90s not liking Nebraska. Nebraska was dominant, and Tommy Frazier was incredible, and I had a buddy that I grew up with who was a massive Nebraska fan, and I didn't like Nebraska. And I think Nebraska being good, you go back, Jamie, not both of us were alive, but I think, what was it, 80 older Gamecock fans remember 87, maybe, South Carolina going out there, 86, 87, going out to Lincoln and having a chance to win that game. And I've heard stories about just the environment and how great it was, and how respectable the fan base was, how they treated South Carolina fans, which was incredibly nice. Obviously, they came here, I think, 87, 88, whatever, and blew South Carolina out. I think here at Williams-Brice, I might have that backwards. But I'd like to see Nebraska be competitive again. I'd like to see Matt Rule go out and put his stamp on that program and return it to some of its past glory.
Yeah, well, I mean, I asked you that question because I think the Big Ten got a lot better this weekend. Their future looks a lot better, both with Nebraska and with Wisconsin. And I think they're both great hires. I really do. I mean, Matt Rule might just kind of be a Spurrier type guy where he's a college coach, and that's just kind of what it is. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Shoot, you make pro money in college football now or more. So good for him. Good for Luke Fickell. And still a couple big ones to drop out there. Auburn obviously has our attention down here. And I don't know what's going to happen. I thought for a while it would probably be Hugh Freeze. So now I've heard that they've cooled on that. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, there was some backlash yesterday that seems to lead most people to think that it's not going to be Hugh Freeze now. Kind of surprised it was Auburn of all schools that would have backlash. Their fan base and some of the media there that appears to be upset with that. One other one just to keep an eye on is, I don't know if you saw the report last night. I forget which national media guy, might have been Bruce Feldman or Dennis Dodds, tweeting out that Georgia Tech and current Tulane coach Willie Fritz are really close on a deal, and that could be hammered out as soon as today. Willie coaching initially, or had spent some time at Georgia Southern, so he's familiar with this and has been a winner. I'm a little surprised that you don't see Jamie Chadwell's name popping up a little bit more. Obviously, they got hammered this weekend, 47-7, but it to me, I don't know what to make of that, but Georgia Tech is another one I'm keeping an eye on.
Yep. There's no doubt. And the Chadwell story is interesting because look at what he's done. He's been incredibly successful both at CSU and at Coastal. I'm not sure if he's just kind of waiting on the best fit, if he's, applying for all these jobs, if they're reaching out for him. You never know the true story. You just don't until it really happens. And then even then, you still generally don't. So I'll be interested to see what Jamie Chadwell's future looks like. He's certainly a hot name. Georgia Tech, Willie Fritz, has kind of came out of nowhere. I kind of thought that Georgia Tech would swing for the fences. Maybe they have and they missed. Again, we don't really know. But yeah, that's whoever gets that Georgia Tech job. I've said this for years, Bill, and I get it. There's a lot of there's a lot of hurdles to clear in Atlanta. It's a heck of an academic institution, the whole 9 yards. You're also in Atlanta. There's enough players in Atlanta to make you a respectable football team in a league that is not very difficult, the ACC. So whoever they hire has got to be able to sign kids out of Atlanta. I mean, this period, the end. So we'll see what happens there. And then, yeah, with Auburn, we'll kind of see what happens there. And then, hey, before we run off here, the rule situation, I mean, obviously him and Satterfield are really close. And so that's probably going to be something to keep an eye on in the coming weeks for the Gamecocks as well, is whether Marcus Satterfield is still at Carolina or not, or what. That's a discussion for another day, but certainly brings a different domino into the game here.
Yeah, and it is a couple people wanted us to address that. I know nothing as of now. We'll keep an eye on it. Matt Rule certainly try and put his staff together. And look, the heat that Marcus Satterfield has taken. If he left to get a new job, I think everybody would completely understand and move on. You'd thank him for the last 2 games, much like we thank Jason Brown for his performances last year to get South Carolina bowl eligible. Maybe would be the same. Jamie, we appreciate it. Know you got to run. But we look forward to catching up with you next week. I'm sure we'll still be celebrating, still be pouring the Crown Royal and having a good time.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I scheduled this doctor's appointment for this morning. They checking whatever they check's probably not going to be normal after the last couple of weeks. So as long as it's good, I'll be back with you next week. But congratulations to all the Gamecocks out there. What a weekend! What a way to end the regular season. And hopefully it continues through bowl season. Shane Beamer and those guys, man, they've done it. They deserve a lot of credit. Awesome.
They do, buddy. They do. Good luck to you, and we'll catch up soon.
All right. See you.
Take care. Jamie Bradford joining us as he does each and every Monday. We'll get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines when we return. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
15th anniversary celebration on 107.5 The Game
is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, getting you better sooner.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app.
It's actually supposed to feel really nice today, supposed to feel very good. So maybe your heating and air unit not on the top of the things that you're thinking about. Obviously, there's a big football victory that you're probably going to be celebrating, but you probably do need to continue thinking about your heating and air unit, making sure that it is ready for the winter when things get cold and that heating and air unit put to the test. Contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. You need to tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Get them out to your house, do a little maintenance, a little inspection on that heating and air unit. Make sure everything is working properly. You don't want to have that thing go out in the middle of the night on you and you wake up and it's about 32 degrees in your home on a cold January morning. Get AAA Heating and Air out there today to inspect your unit and make sure everything's working fine. And while they're there, you can get them to do a free ductwork inspection now through December. Again, that phone number, 803-677-1500. You can schedule your maintenance and you can get a free ductwork check today. Make sure everything's sealed up tightly so nothing is coming into your nice, warm house this coming winter. 803-677-1500. Contact AAA Heating and Air. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. ShepherdsGlass.com.
Highway 6 at Edmond Highway. That would be 302. There is an injury accident there. Also up in Chapin, Amex Ferry Road at Lake Tide Road. Also have a tie-up Hardin Street at Gervais. I-26 westbound near I-77, that has been cleared, so traffic flow should be returning to normal here shortly. And 277 northbound at Fontaine Road, a report of an accident. Your forecast for today, we're looking for sunny skies and a high of 67. And then tomorrow, looking for a high of maybe about 65 and 70 for Wednesday with some scattered showers. But right now, we are looking at kind of nice conditions, 55 and sunny at 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. How about South Carolina's Spencer Rattler? A week ago, he lit up Tennessee with 6 touchdown strikes. On Saturday, he threw 2 more and ran for another in killing Clemson's playoff hopes. The weekend's other shocking headline in college football, if you can call it that, was Cincinnati head.
I'm checking. I'm actually trying to see if we got an update, like a Monday morning update on Hugh Freeze
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 87 was the one. 87 was the game. Nothing new really from yeah, I saw that as well. The Missouri Levette who torched us.
We had Bill call talking a little bit about a situation like the LSU Georgia game. If LSU gets blown out, and they could end up with Gator Bowl against Notre Dame. So then,
It is a possibility. I don't know. If LSU would. I don't know what it's up to the SEC. And honestly, I don't know. That might be a situation where LSU asks to not go to the Gator Bowl. They don't want to do the thing with Brian Kelly, even though I'm sure the Gator Bowl would take that.
Yeah.
The universities do have just a little bit of say in it.
It would be interesting.
Gamecock Nation, year 2 of the Shane Beamer era is here, and GamecockCenter.com looks to be your source of insider information. Come join our exclusive community of South Carolina fans today at GamecockCentral.com.
Broadcasting live from the Heritage Chevrolet.
All right, let's go to 24.
Okay.
It's a Jeter field goal to go ahead into number 10. 24 into 10.
Okay, because we're about to come back. So perfect timing.
Here's Jeter now. 9 of 9 on the year. Ty Kroger to hold. Out in the middle of the field. 35-yarder. Snap it back. Put it down. Kick it up. It's good. The Gamecocks take the lead in the fourth quarter over number 7 Clemson. It's by the narrowest of margins, but it feels good. 31-30. Carolina on top for the first time today.
Just for what it means for our players and fans right at the top. We did a senior retreat back in June and took all the seniors to Charlotte. It was just me and Derek Moore and George Lynn and the seniors. And, we talked about it when we were on this retreat. What do you want to accomplish? Like, what do you want this year to be? And obviously, every single one of them wanted to win this game. And, it's right at the top, but especially for those guys, too, to be able to win this game and accomplish their goals of winning 8 games. They all came back because they said they had higher goals than just winning 6 in the regular season, and they've won 8. They've got a chance to win 9. Our bowl destination got really, really good today. And they've knocked off back-to-back top, 10 ranked teams. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Shane Beamer, that first call on the Mitch Jeter made field goal to put the Gamecocks ahead 31-30 there in the fourth quarter. And then that's Shane Beamer talking about what it means to his players, his seniors in particular, as South Carolina picks up their 8th victory of the season. Hard to believe we're saying that after what we said 2 weeks ago after the Gamecocks lost to Florida 38-6. But here we sit.
This group
And it's
here, I'm not sure as collectively as talented as that group was, but they are more developed than they were.
Spencer
There's no
Rattler
doubt about
has
it.
led
Major
the way.
props all
He and
over.
Juice Wells, really. I don't know what's going to happen with Juice Wells. My gut tells me that South Carolina's offense is about to be depleted a little bit. Obviously Josh Van, and you hope he's okay. Looked, I was watching on television. They wouldn't show the replay, which I'm very happy about. But it was
Report about the
unfortunate
Jacksonville concession stands last
in an
week.
awful
Shove a
way
pack of
to
crackers in your
potentially finish
back
his career. I'm
pocket
sure we'll learn
to
more
get yourself through the game before you go down there and buy yourself
as
a
pertains
rat
to
dog
his
or something
exact
like that.
injury
You don't want
status.
anything to do with that.
Yeah,
You know, you're
they'll
going to
get a
lose
little
him.
bit harder there. They eat a little bit
I'm
more at the
assuming you're
tailgate.
going to lose
I
Spencer Rattler.
see
You're going
that.
to lose your
Thankfully I
offensive
did not,
line
but
pretty much.
yeah, that is
I
something.
think,
I do
Juice
think
Wells.
my gut here as
I
we sit
say
at
all that, and
7:46
where
on
I'm
Monday
going with
morning.
that on Juice Wells is
Kentucky win.
I don't know where he goes down if he plays 1 year.
We get here,
And
but it is more than a successful
I don't know
season
what
now.
people will necessarily think about him. He is a tremendous wide receiver. He is absolutely a phenomenal wide receiver, and we will just kind of see what happens with him over the next few weeks and how that kind of plays out with him. But if you look at his season statistics, absolutely incredible year given what we thought about the offense. 63 receptions, 898 yards. He finishes with 6 touchdowns. Obviously, if he chooses to play in the bowl game, I don't want to be the wet blanket this morning because we're all celebrating. It will be interesting to see who continues. This is a huge bowl game for South Carolina. This is another opportunity to really build upon the program and to move forward. And if you get a team like Notre Dame, you think about it, man. In Shane Beamer's, let's just hypothetically say it ends up being Notre Dame. In Shane Beamer's first 26 games, he's got the opportunity to beat Florida, to beat Auburn, to beat North Carolina. You throw in beating a top 5 Tennessee. You throw in beating a top 10, number 7 Clemson. And if you could add Notre Dame's scalp to the mix, that's as good a start as any coach has ever had at South Carolina. When you look at those brand name teams, Florida, Auburn, I know what they were last year. Doesn't matter. You beat them. You got it. You took advantage of them. And then you go on and you follow it up with Tennessee and Clemson this year. You beat North Carolina. Remember, South Carolina does open with North Carolina and Charlotte next year, by the way, as well. 803-404-6100. Back out to the Love Chevy phone lines we go this morning. Rob has waited extremely patiently. Rob, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I wanted to talk to you about a moment and a play in the game that I'm on Twitter and on the boards. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but I thought it was a huge moment. Clemson went up 14-0. Their offense moved the ball on that drive. They ran the ball down. They got a touchdown, and then soon after that, Nick Emenwari hits DJ U in the hip, and it seemed after that moment that Clemson, they still ran a little bit, but it seemed different. It felt different. They showed DJ on the sidelines, trying to loosen that up. I don't know how, injured he was, or I don't know anything like that, but I thought that was a huge unheralded, moment in the game. It's not going to show up in the stat line, but Nick is he's an incredible freshman. He's one of those guys that Gamecock fans, definitely are excited about, but he has a little bit of that DJ Swearinger in a sense that we could all tell very early in DJ's career, he just made big plays in big moments. And I think that's the same type player that Nick Emenwari is going to be as well. What did you think about that play? Do you think it affected anything? I mean, I just don't see a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, appreciate the phone call, Rob. The play he's talking about, I think it happened in the third. I think it happened in the third. It might have, if I remember correctly. May have happened in the second quarter. I can't remember, but DJ kept it up the middle, and as the announcers were talking about, did not see Emenwari coming from his right is what I believe he did, and Emenwari got into that hip, and it took you saw him. It took DJ a minute to get back up, and he kind of stayed on one knee for a second, and wasn't exactly the same after that. But South Carolina, this was kind of the crazy thing. As this game is playing out on Saturdays, the game is playing out. I'm kind of thinking about today, and okay, I see this moment. Here's what I'm gonna relate to, and here's how I'm gonna handle this on Monday and talk about. And I kept bouncing back and forth between two games is what I saw, and I guess both could be the same. I'm watching the game, and I'm remembering 2006 up at Memorial Stadium. South Carolina in 2006 went up there. Blake Mitchell played quarterback. It was a thriller. Clemson missed a field goal at the very end of the game that I believe would have tied it. I'm pulling that back up to confirm. I think it was 31-28. South Carolina won the game. But South Carolina in that ballgame, if you go back in that ballgame in 2006 with Blake Mitchell and all those guys, South Carolina fell behind a couple times in that game. I know they were down 28-14 and rallied to win it. And I kept kind of thinking back. That was a noon game. I was actually up there for that day. And South Carolina kept rallying in that game and finally found a way to get the job done very late in that contest. And I was thinking about that game. The other game that I kept going back to, and this is to Rob's point in this series, was the last time South Carolina won. It was 2013. It was played at Williams-Brice Stadium, and South Carolina won. The final score was kind of convincing. South Carolina won 31-17. But South Carolina won because Clemson had 5 turnovers that night. And it was one of those games in which, if you looked at the box score, if you didn't look at the numbers, South Carolina didn't play all that well. Connor Shaw really guided South Carolina to a victory that night. Clemson really ended up being the better team. I can't remember who the center, I think it was Corey Helms was the center for South Carolina, and I can't remember who I think it was Grady Jarrett maybe was the defensive tackle for Clemson. And that night, Clemson outgained South Carolina. Taj Boyd wasn't bad. He did throw 2 interceptions. Clemson ran for 127 yards. They won the time of possession battle that night. It was one of those weird games in which Clemson kind of dominated. This is 2013 I'm talking about now, yet South Carolina won the football game. And that, I thought, set the precedent for the coming years. Is Clemson, it kind of obviously changed the tide of the program. They would go on to win the next year, and we all know what happened the following 6 years, 6 football games. As that game plays out, to Rob's point, as Saturday was playing out, I thought South Carolina became the more physical team as the game was moving on. I thought as the game moved on, South Carolina became the more confident team. South Carolina became the more physical team. And that hit that Rob's talking about by Eamon Worry on DJ, I thought was the start of that. And it gave South Carolina confidence. And I feel like you saw that growing with every play, with every possession as the game moved on. 803-404-6100. If you want to weigh in this morning, you're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The OGs of 107.5 The Game.
Jay Phillips, Heath Klein, and Tommy Moody.
Sharing their memories of 107.5 The Game and celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Just download the 107.5 The Game app or go to 107.5thegame.com to check out the podcast.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app.
All right, you might not have gotten a lot of sleep. Definitely on Saturday night, you might have stayed up celebrating too much. So that meant yesterday you needed to catch up. You needed to get ready for the work week. We're back into our regular routine. The holidays are coming up. You're going to have Christmas parties. You got to do Christmas shopping. I'm sure the kids have got something going on, athletics, ballet, whatever, who knows. Bottom line is you had to get a good night of sleep last night. You're going to need one moving forward each and every night because there's a lot happening over the next 30 days. And with a sleep number bed, that is precisely what you can get. I put my sleep number setting on 45. I wake up. I'm ready to go each and every morning. Come in here. I got the daughters cheering at Gilbert Middle School tonight. I got to go watch a couple games there. Son's got soccer this week and basketball. I need a great night of sleep, and you do too. Sleep Number provides that. People ask, why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Answer simple. Because to be your best every day, you need proven quality sleep every night. And right now, you don't want to miss Sleep Number's Black Friday sale. It's still going on, but it ends today. November 28th. Right now, you can save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus free premium delivery on all smart beds when you add a base. But again, this deal ends today, Cyber Monday. Get out to a Sleep Number store, 2 to choose from, one in Irmo on Harbison Boulevard across from Buffalo Wild Wings, the other in Columbia, 2 Notch Road across from Sand Hills Mall. You can visit them on the web, sleepnumber.com. Again, it is the final day of the Sleep Number Black Friday sale where you can save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus free premium delivery on all smart beds when you add a base. Make the switch to Sleep Number today and find out what a great night of sleep is truly like.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Highway 6 at Edmond Highway, we have a report of an accident there. Also up towards Chapin, Amex Ferry Road at Lake Tide Road. Downtown Columbia, Hardin Street at Gervais. And the earlier accident, I-26 westbound near I-77, that has been cleared. So that should be moving a little bit better in that area. And your forecast for today, 67 for the high under mostly sunny skies, 68 tomorrow with some clouds and rain possible for Wednesday, and looking for a high of 70. Right now, 55 at 107.5 The Game.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules, all great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Griffin Pools and Spas. The perfect place to relax.
No, not Burden, not Luther Burden. Dominic Levitt, love it or whatever. Dominic Lovett. You guys are Dominic Levitt or Lovett is the guy. I don't know if he saved his job. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, the one thing you know about Shane Beamer is he's not going to take away from the momentum that has been built. So I will say if Satterfield's going to if Satterfield's here, I think he's coaching the bowl game. I was just checking the I was just trying to check the Nebraska board to see if there is any update.
Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7.
Should be.
What's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUSboost.com.
I don't really see anything updated. York, I think one thing you got to remember, I think the offense is going to be starting over to begin with. That's the unfortunate thing. I think that, you're going to lose potentially Stogner, Wells, Van, the offensive line. I have to go back and see exactly who started on Saturday of the offensive line, but you might be losing 10 starters. It's not out of the question. I don't know what the last month has done to Marshawn Lloyd. I would think Lloyd needs to come back now. I would think Marshawn Lloyd really has to come back now that he didn't get enough on film. But again, he might think, let me just see if I can get to the league, get drafted, and start my career. Or he might realize he needs to come back for one more year.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on the Love Chevy phone lines or the Firehouse Subs text line. A couple of y'all doing that. Let's see if we can get to a couple of these here on the Firehouse Subs text line. GB weighing in and says, here we go. Couple of wins. We want to promote everyone to leave early for the NFL. Wish we were more like Dabo, keeping players and helping them improve their draft stock. Well, that's not my responsibility. That's going to be Shane Beamer's. But also, guys like Spencer Rattler came here for 1 year. I mean, that's what they came here for, was to spend 1 year here to improve his draft stock. I don't know how he's going to be viewed. He and Antoine Wells, Juice Wells, personally, I don't know. I have Patrick and I are going to talk about this more on Friday. And Juice Wells is the one that I'm very interested to see, because we haven't really seen his name pop up on a lot of lists for in terms of being highly thought of draftable prospects. But he's a guy that you look at his production now at James Madison last year, at South Carolina this year. I think he would test really well. And so with all that in mind, what I think would happen is Juice Wells would end up being highly thought of. Now, the question would be, if you come back for one more year and you have chemistry with, say, a Luke Doty, because I think Rattler's out the door, and that's understandable. Again, that's what he came to do. He didn't come to spend 2 or 3 years here in Columbia. He came to kind of do what he's done, and he's really exploded here in the last 2 games. But again, to go back and talk about this team and to look at what they've done, it's impressive these last 2 games. I am with GB on this. I'm not saying that a lot of these guys are big time draftable prospects, but to go back, you look at the offensive line. It looks like you'll probably Jalen Nichols. Again, with COVID, I am not. I know Eric Douglas is finally out of eligibility. That's one guy I know for sure. Javon Gwynn, I'm not 100% sure about. I'm pretty sure Dylan Wanham is completely out of eligibility. I'm not sure on Gwynn. Trey Jones started on Saturday. He's definitely back. Ja'Kai Moore has played a little bit. He's definitely back. Stogner should be done. He should be completely out. Jaheim Bell, I don't know what he's going to do. Spencer Rattler, it is a situation where you could be talking about replacing as many as 9 starters on offense when everything ends up being said and done here over the next month and a half. JB weighing in on the Firehouse Subs text line this morning says, Streak Busters, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Clemson, all wonderful. Brian weighing in on Shane Beamer this morning, saying Shane Beamer would be the first South Carolina coach to win bowls in his first 2 years. Scott weighing in this morning says 2 weeks in a row with Boomer, talking about Boomer Esiason, talking about the Gamecocks on Monday. Got to love that show. A couple others you weighing in. Marcus in Winsboro weighing in says South Carolina may have found their Dabo. And certainly Shane's a very positive person and will continue to build off of this. Marshall weighing in this morning and says, congrats to all my guys and Garnet and Black. Always Gamecocks here. You can't help but feel a little extra awesome for Zach Pickens. He has to have heard it for the last 4 years constantly. 803-404-6100. Again, how you can weigh in. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines real quick. James wants to weigh in. James, how you doing? What's on your mind this morning?
Hey, man, I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Good. I just want to say that everybody like to throw this word culture change and all this good stuff that comes with a head coach. Being down 14-0 on the road at Clemson and not letting your team give up, that is the definition of culture change. I don't care what no one says, if Muschamp or whoever we would have had before, we would have lost that game, we would have laid down. I'm so proud of the guys. I'm happy for the win. Now we need to learn how to string up a couple of good wins together in the season with this bowl win. Also, with these guys thinking about going to the league, I don't think Juice Wells will go. I think he needs another solid year of SEC play because a lot of times the league looked down on his first year at James Madison, lower level and whatnot like that. But he had a great SEC year. I think one more of those, and then I think he'll be the next great Gamecock receiver that'll be in the league. I'll hang up and listen to y'all.
Appreciate the phone call, James. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of guys with, I think, some decisions to make, and I don't think that a bunch of them are all that. I mean, even Spencer Rattler, I don't think the decision is that clear and easy. But I think that's what he came to do, and he's accomplished it. 803-404-6100. We will wrap up the Monday morning edition of the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up
on the next Extra Point.
Preston officially re-downgraded Josh Heupel to Jeff Heupel.
He's back. He's back to Jeff Heupel.
What's the temperature instead of Jim?
Jim Heupel?
If he loses to Vandy.
He's going down to Jim Heupel.
At what point on Saturday night did he become Jeff again?
There was a point where he was on the sideline sort of crying about I forget what play it was, but he was just on the sideline crying and he was shaking his head, and I just saw his
goblin.
Yeah, saw his lower chin moving around. I was like, oh, look at this.
So you had to actually see him, and then it was made manifest.
The Extra Point.
With Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
If you've been feeling a little banged up lately, maybe gotten an automobile accident or have had some back pain, it's time to call Casey Chiropractic Center. Dr. Pate, Dr. Roman Cooper individually each have over 20 years of experience in the business combined. That's 40 years. And the great doctors at Casey Chiropractic Center strive to help bring patients affordable, effective, lasting, that's a key word right there, lasting, gentle spine health care. They firmly believe in serving their patients and making sure each and everybody gets an individualized idea of what they should do. Their own, they don't just bring you in and go, yeah, we've done this before with other people. It is right to what you need. It is your particular kind of treatment that helps heal you. And that's the great thing about Casey Chiropractic. Every patient is an individual. They want to make sure they get you feeling right, not what it worked for someone else, but what will work for you. Give them a phone call today, 803-796-2424. They file all major insurance carriers. They work on all ages. Again, if you've been in an automobile accident lately, or you've been suffering from back pain, or you've had problems with your neck or your back, it's time to call Casey Chiropractic Center, 803-796-2424, located obviously in Casey. Dr. Payton, Dr. Roman Cooper are ready to help you. They're convenient, they're local, they know what they're doing, and they're here to make sure you get the help you needed. 803-796-2424. That's Casey Chiropractic Center.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Still working the earlier accident, Highway 6 at Edmond Highway. Also an accident, Amex Ferry Road at Lake Tide Drive. Downtown Columbia, Hardin Street at Gervais Street, still working that earlier tie-up. And Broad River Road near Piney Grove Road, we have an accident there. 67 will be our high today under sunny skies. 68 tomorrow, 70 with some rain on Wednesday. It's 55 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Family Dollar. Enjoy this holiday season even more with Family Dollar. Stop by and find everything for the celebration, like Betty Crocker baking goods, stylish ornaments, and hundreds of toys, $15 and under. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof or you need a whole new roof, you need to call Mid-State Roofing, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, Mid-State Roofing has established its reputation as the leader in the roofing industry. Whether it's above your head or at your feet, perhaps a leaky foundation, 356-1919 is the number to call for all your roofing and waterproofing needs. The quality and craftsmanship of a Mid-State roofing system are tops in the industry, especially commercial and industrial roofing systems. If you own or you're in charge of a large building, warehouse, or industrial facility, then you're in charge of that roof. And at some point, a roof is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Mid-State has to offer when you click on midstateroofing.com. Tell them Mid-State Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
356-1919, midstateroofing.com.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules. All great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Griffin Pools and Spas. The perfect place to relax, unwind, leave the day behind. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy System. Each seat is customized to fit everybody in your family. There's never been a better time to spa and save. Come into Griffin Pools today and reserve your new Bullfrog Spa. Bullfrog Spas. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful home. Discover more at griffinpoolsandspas.com.
Griffin Pools and Spas. We make you feel good.
What should you get the music lover on your holiday list? Tickets to the Auntie Karen Foundation 19th Annual Legends of Concert Series and Silent Auction featuring a tribute to Al Jarreau with Kurt Whalum, Bob James, Regina Bell, and Chris Walker. 8 o'clock Friday, February 24th, Koger Center, Columbia. Give the gift of music. Tickets to the Legends of Concert Series and Silent Auction with Kurt Whalum, Bob James, Regina Bell. Visit CapitolTickets.com or for VIP seats, AuntieKaren.org.
Hey, sports fans, score a rewarding new career and great employee benefits with South Carolina Department of Corrections. There's increased pay for many positions and sign-on bonuses starting at $7,500. They're hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, and more positions statewide. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today. Join Move Fitness today for only $10. If you're finally ready to drop the extra pounds, get in shape, and feel better, this is the time to act. Stop by any club or see us on the web at muvsc.com. See clubs for full membership details. Expires 11/30/22.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Rattler takes a knee.
That is it, folks.
He throws the football up in the air, and the streak is over. Carolina has defeated number 7 Clemson 31-30. They go back-to-back in top 10 wins. First, number 5, Tennessee, and now number 7, Clemson. And for the first time since 2013, they finished the season with back-to-back wins over top 10 opponents.
Coach, congratulations. It's your first win personally in the series in your second season overall. You take the team from 7 wins overall to 8 wins in the regular season this year. If you put it into perspective about what this has been, it's happened so fast in the last 2 weeks. We come off a time where we did not play good football at Florida, and then we play our best football in the last 2 weeks. How did you do it?
Yeah, sorry. I got great people around me, Todd. I really do. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're a resilient bunch. That's some great people in this program, and you saw that today.
Well, if you don't think it means a lot to all of us, just look at that. Congratulations again to Gamecock Nation, and what a season.
There's still a long way to go. South Carolina still got a lot of work to do. 8-4 is a great second year. But you hear the emotion in Shane Beamer's voice. And we go back 2 years ago. Billy Napier and Hugh Freeze and Jamie Chadwell, all those names were out there. And you bring in Shane Beamer, and you hear it right there. A guy who loves the university, who has poured his heart and soul into it. And a lot, myself, hey, I'm one of you. Overreaction. 14 days ago, sat right here and wondered. That's the kind of coach who loves the university. You have to like hearing that. If you're negative about that, you need a hug this morning. That's the bottom line. That is a guy right there who has done everything he can for this university. And right now, they're not there. And that's maybe the neat thing or the great thing. You know, you've got a chance to go win a 9th game in the bowl, you to finish in the top 20. You've got a lot of great things going on. And obviously, this can't be the pinnacle, but it's a heck of a start. 31-30. Streak's over. South Carolina fans can have a merry Christmas. And we'll see what the bowl destination will be. Big thank you to Jamie Bradford for joining us this morning. Big thank you for all of you who participated. Live stream was incredible. Jen, incredible job back there. We got a full day, full month of celebrating. Hope y'all have a fantastic rest of the day. For Jen Jensen, I'm Bill Gunner. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station.
Welcome your guest into a clean, healthy home this Thanksgiving by calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Their patented no residue cleaning system gets your carpets, rugs, and upholstery insanely clean. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms.
All right. I've got to get out to, apparently my daughter left her glasses at the house. So I've got to get them to her school. So y'all have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Do it all over again. Take care.